Tróna má carja. Agus fáilte. Conas atásamh, ha? Cad é an scéal? An bhfuil ann scéal a gcuibh? Obviously, before anything, Banachtaí na féile Pádraig a ribh. Cad atá sibh ag óil an tróna seo, huh? What are you drinking? I'm going to have Tom A. ag óil, Guinness, and some whiskey. Got my cans of Guinness here. Happy Paddy's Day to everybody. Whiskey I'm having is Black Barrel. This is a really, really fine Jameson. One of the more affordable, excellent Jamesons. Any Jameson is good, I think. But these ones are, you know, there's the cask mates and the there's the Black Barrel. And then, of course, you go up in level. You go up to, what's the other one? Crested 10. That's a magical one. Happy Paddy's Day from Patricia. Na féile Pádraig a gut, or ort. Na féile Pádraig ort would be more correct. Banachtaí na féile Pádraig. Nathaniel, super sticker, $4.99. Thanks so much. Tim already in here. Happy St. Patrick's Day. What are we drinking? He's got Jameson. No, it's not the best, but it's Irish. It is great. Jameson is the, you know, is the quintessential. Jameson is the no date Submariner, the no date Rolex Submariner of whiskeys. It's the straightforward one. I'm wearing my green, of course. Look, and I'm playing. That's supposed to be Ireland in the background. It's not. Is that Ireland? The snowy caps there. It's supposed to be Ireland. Figured I'd put in some of the nature, the west. That's definitely Ireland. Which castle is that? Is that Dun Angus? Looks like Dun Angus. How are you all? Are we having a lovely Paddy's Day? Do you celebrate Paddy's Day? Is it your sort of thing? I have a big surprise for you guys coming onto the show in a few minutes. By the way, I should outline how you say Paddy's Day. It's, of course, St. Patrick. Okay. But you don't, a lot of people hear Paddy and they think it's Patty, P-A-T-T-Y, because it's Patrick, so short. So Patty. No, Paddy. It's a common name in Ireland. It's like saying Dick for Richard, or Jack for John, or whatever. Paddy. A lot of people are called Paddy in Ireland. P-A-D-D-Y, Paddy. A patty is something you put in a burger between the two bones. So you could say Happy St. Pat's. Now that's with a T. Happy St. Pat's. That's just short. That's Pat, short for Patrick. Happy St. Pat's. And you wouldn't say Happy St. Paddy's Day. I mean, we don't say that much. St. Paddy's. No, you just say Paddy, Happy Paddy's Day. Or you say Happy St. Patrick's Day. All right? Now you know. By the way, what language was I speaking at the beginning there? That, my friends, is Irish. Gaelic. Os Gaelga. That's our language. Yes, we have our own language. A lot of people don't know that. I mean, people call it Gaelic, but Gaelic covers Scottish, Irish, and Welsh. They're Gaelic languages. In France, they speak French. In England, they speak English. In Spain, they speak Spanish. In Ireland, they speak Irish. Now, they don't. I mean, we call it Irish. You have to learn it in school. You have to go through all the lessons. But of course, our country was annexed many, many years ago, and we were forced to learn English by our lovely neighbors. And most people in Ireland speak English. In fact, most people in Ireland speak English pretty damn well. A lot of students that come from France and Italy and Spain come to Dublin to learn English rather than go to London. I don't know why. Apparently we have pretty good diction. Mind you, I know a few lads who don't at all, but whatever. So, there's still a lot of people in Ireland who speak Irish, but as you get older in the generations, that's as you go further back, my mom couldn't speak Irish. You always knew when things were getting pretty serious when she broke into Irish. She'd get mad at us. Go on up to bed, you kids. And we'd be like, oh, Mom. Yeah. Up to bed with you. Come on. It's late. Oh, come on, man. And then she'd say, Susan Styra. And we'd be like, oh, shit, we better run. We got a clip around the ear next. Once it goes into Irish, it's like, oh, shit, now it's no more joking. When you go to the west of Ireland, you get a lot more people speaking Irish. So a lot of us as Dubliners, because I grew up in Dublin, which is on the side next to Britain, facing Britain, we would go study Irish in the west, because that's where it was kind of more preserved, more pure. If any of you saw that new Star Wars movie where they finally find Luke Skywalker on a remote island in the middle of the ocean, that is Skellig Michael. That's an island off the west. It's very powerful over there. You might see some of that landscape in the background here. So yes, am I super fluent in Irish? No, because I literally never use it ever. In fact, when I try to translate something to Irish, I slip into Italian by accident, because that part of my brain is occupied mostly by Italian. But it's cool. It's come in real handy sometimes in the past, knowing how to speak a language that pretty much no one else knows how to speak, around the globe. I would imagine that if I went to Scotland for a few days and I spoke in Irish, they'd probably understand. If they knew their own Gaelic, they'd probably pick it up and know exactly what I was saying. So it's something like that. It's kind of fun. It was funny, actually. When we first came over to Italy, I was hearing the local dialect, and they would say things like, so two is due, like the Luminor due from Panerai, and three is tre. But the local dialect, they say, for due, they say do, and for three, they say tri. And in Irish, you say do and tri, exactly the same way. So 1 to 10 in Irish is a hen, a do, a tri, a cahar, a cuig, a she, a shacht, a nocht, a ni, a dieg. And if you notice, there's a before everything. A hen, a do. It's very musical. It's a musical language. Musical people. It's kind of very descriptive, poetic language. One of my favorite phrases in Irish is the phrase for confusion. You say in Irish, one way of saying confusion. I walked into a room and there was a lot of confusion. You could say ri ra agus rula bula. Ri ra agus rula bula, which basically means here, there, and all around. So it's like you're getting confused because it's all a ri ra agus rula bula. You're confusing me. Old language, beautiful stuff. Redbreast, Michael Paris is asking. No, if you just came in late, Black Barrel for me tonight. Are you having a redbreast, Michael? If you are, I'm jealous. What's on the wrist tonight? Well, I'm doing the gold. It's blue, so there's a bit of a clash. I don't think I have a green watch anymore. I gave them all away. Can you believe that? Excuse me, but yes, gold and green and gold, very, very Irish. So I figured that was fitting. Radgevir Berscheming. It's similar to Dutch and ex-German. Yeah, there's a lot in there. Some people think it sounds a little Russian. I don't know about that. But yeah, it's a kind of a mix of a bunch of things. Nearly 500 in the room already. Happy St. Paddy's, or Happy Paddy's is what I should say. Happy St. Pat's to everyone. Now listen, St. Patrick isn't exactly my favorite dude on earth. Okay, you know, when I was young, I didn't really like celebrating Paddy's Day because St. Patrick was a missionary sent by the church to convert us. If you were a little boy growing up in Ireland, like I was a long time ago, you would have been taught lessons about how St. Patrick came to Ireland and saved us from the snakes. He drove all the snakes into the sea. And there's like little pictures and little books. So we're little kids and we're like, wow, there's lots of snakes and he saved us. Well, there were never any snakes in Ireland. We don't have that kind of climate to have snakes. We don't have exotic spiders. I don't think we have any mosquitoes. The climate just isn't right for it. We have dogs and cats and arseholes. And that's it. Drunken arseholes. There were no snakes. The snakes was symbolic. The snakes were the pagans. They were the druids. They were the people who were praying to the sky, praying to the moon, building things like Newgrange. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's, if you think Stonehenge is impressive, you ain't seen nothing yet. 6,000 years old. Aligns with the sunrise at the winter solstice every year perfectly. They built it 6,000 years ago. It's still one of the miracles, one of the mystery miracles in the world, one of the great wonders. And yeah, along came the Catholic Church, God bless them, and decided, you convert or we drown you. They were the snakes that were pushing into the sea. So we were already a religious people anyway, so we took to it. And Ireland is still, to this day, pretty Catholic country. But I always felt a connection with early Ireland, the original Ireland, the Druids, the pagans. That Ireland mystified me. That was the Ireland I was interested in. As it happens, I have that coloring. A lot of people see me, they don't look Irish at all, right? They think he's Turkish or something. But if you take a closer look, I actually have green eyes. They're green as can be. And that coloring is a very old people from Ireland before the Vikings and so on arrived and started adding blonde and red and all sorts of colors into it. We're known as the Black Irish, actually. That's what they call us. When you meet an Irishman who's got a dark complexion, usually green or blue eyes, but, you know, the hairy Cro-Magnon man looking Irishman is the Black Irish, is what they call us, because we're dark. We don't have as many freckles and that light complexion and so on. So I love that. So St. Patrick wasn't exactly, I was a little bit like, you've all been tricked. You've all been fooled. It's fake news, you know. I was a conspiracy theorist from a young age. So, but what it became with time, to me, it was just Ireland Day. It was, you know, when I moved to New York, it was, nobody there knows the story of St. Patrick, you know. It was just Ireland Day. Everyone's got a day. There's Cinco de Mayo, right? 5th of May, and there's the Brasilia Day, and there's all sorts of days to celebrate. Everybody gets a day, right? Well, the Irish get Paddy's Day. So it's not really celebrating St. Patrick or the pagans or the Druids being converted to Catholicism. It's just, kiss me, I'm Irish. Let's all get drunk. That's what it is. It's a celebration of the Irish, really, in America. And of course, in Chicago, they dye the river green every year. And they give out green beer. They were doing that today here in Venice. I was over at the Irish pub. Green beer everywhere. I went up to the bar. I was like, can I have a Guinness? And please don't put green dye in it. Thank you very much. For fuck's sake. I like my Guinness colored. Thank you. MD Chaz 199. Sláinte. Sláinte what? What are you drinking, man? Codatá 2, a goal. On Tranona shot. Greek Force 1, $5. Crack open a Redbreast 15. Sláinte. Wow. Okay, he's opening an amazing bottle there, the Redbreast. Incredible. Jonathan Smith, happy St. Patrick's Day. Same to you, my friend. Look at this guy. In italiano, buon San Patrizio, un abbraccio da Brescia. Ah, salutami Brescia, mi manca un po'. Sono anni che non passo a Brescia. Com'è? Sempre uguale, immagino. Christian Vieri. I recently went to see a Vacheron Constantin 1921 driver. Love that watch. My God. Thanks to one of your videos, I can't get the phrase Constantin out of my head. Yes, you have a tan all year. It's a constant tan. Constantin. Guys, I have a little surprise for you guys. A little Irish surprise, actually. Very fitting for the day. It's a man you all know and love, and you all missed because he hasn't been on with us in a long time. And we are, of course, going out on the iBashers show tonight as well on the iBashers channel. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Dirk Kennedy.
Sláinte.
Oof, you're loud. Hang on.
I'm having a Guinness.
You're having a Guinness. Me too, man. I don't actually have a big, tall Guinness glass. I don't know how
I broke mine. And, you know, I actually went up to the street and I tried to bribe the guys up the corner. I said, could I buy a Guinness pint off
a
you?
Guinness glass?
He goes, today. That's what he goes.
Of
today.
All days.
So I'm going out on my stream and I haven't been on in a while and I want to have a proper pint. And I don't want the new shitty one. I want the proper one. Because Guinness has those horrible new pints. They're kind of modern and bleh, crap. Have you seen those?
I have not.
They're not the classic tulip. They're like kind of sleek and they have some like striations, some lines, kind of fancy lines going up to the top.
I just want the classic one with the bulbous head, with the kind of bell end
one. Yeah. No. I think that I think they're reverting because it's crap. But hey, everybody. Happy St. Paddy's Day to y'all. I have a green hat on.
You have a green hat? I have the green scarf. Look.
Green hat.
old watch lady. $9.99. La Fela Padraig on dit. And to you. Old watch lady, I discovered she's very, very popular on Instagram, and it turns out she's a fan of the channel. I'm so honored.
I love her name, Old Watch Lady.
Oh my god, you want to see her watch collection? It's like, what the hell? It's like she just
Really?
does wristwatch rolls, on
Oh.
Instagram. She's like, oh, today we have this, and it's like, what?
And what's her fancy?
Oh man, everything. A lot of vintage
Oh.
Rolex across the board.
Oh.
Jesse Schlitt, $10. Thank you so much. Gareth Mila Mahagut. I'm trying to instill the Irish in here to all the folks,
You know that I wish I had Jesse Schlitt.
I can't read this now. We're getting pounded with snow and sub-zero temps. Looking forward to watching the stream later. Welcome back, Dirk. TS and PS. Happy celebrating, lads. Yeah, I guess he must be. Is he stuck out? Maybe he's working. Maybe he's a first responder or something.
Where is he?
Enjoy it later. I don't know where he is. He's in the States for sure.
Yeah. It's 60 degrees in New York.
They were saying that earlier.
Yeah, they must have
what a day
parade, right?
Yeah,
and it was sunny earlier. It was really sunny, so that must have been quite nice. I haven't been to the parade since I was 13. Because it's gotten sloppy and stupid, and every idiot is out and Aaron go brah. I'm like, oh geez. Top of the morning to you. I'm like, don't say that. No one says that. That's not real. What was that coined in a movie? Some leprechaun.
Probably, some leprechaun in a movie.
Like, they don't say that in our top of the morning to you. Like, fuck off.
I used to work in that Abbey Tavern place in Howth.
You worked there?
Sound. I worked in Abbey Tavern.
Wow.
Doing sound. Yeah, because they have a huge function room in the back.
Yeah.
And if you're on an Aer Lingus flight from anywhere in the States to Dublin for years, the only pub that was advertised as a traditional music pub, which it was not, it was completely not, was the Abbey Tavern, and they would just ship in the tourists. And there's like, I don't know, there's seating for 600 people or something, and it would be the same gig every night, and below average Irish musicians.
Ooh.
Honestly, below average. I mean, everybody would love it. The tourists would love it. They'd be like, "Oh, this is so great." Yeah, but not even the real shit. Like, my daughter went to Ireland a few years ago with her ex at the time, an amazing jazz trumpet player. You can hear his music in the Bassano video, the No Date So Bassano video that so many love. When I go to that cocktail bar and there's some jazz, that's Sean. It was amazing kid. He's 20 years old, 21 years old, incredible talent. But this guy can play, Mingus and so on. He's like Miles Davis, like he can shoot up and down the trumpet like crazy, amazing trumpet player. But Lydia brought him to some traditional Irish real one. Somewhere in Temple Bar, and he was just floored by the talent. Like, he was just like, I can't believe, like, that's 1 million notes. He's like, I'm counting. She's onto like 1 million now. Like, just it is constantly going all night. He's like, I can't believe how many notes she's just played, like, back to back. But getting back to the Abbey Tavern, oh god, it was actually a horrible job. It's a beautiful pub, it really is. And if you want the best pint in Howth, and probably the best chowder,
one of the best pints in all of Ireland, though. That's an incredible pint in there.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah,
I think Gravediggers is the best I've ever had in my life.
And there's that smell of that, the fire, the open fire, and all of that kind of stuff. But they used to serve everybody as part of their ticket price. They'd see the show. They get a free pint, 1 pint, and corned beef and cabbage. I shouldn't have said that while you were drinking. Their meal was
it's gorgeous. It's only gorgeous.
Right? Corned beef and cabbage
in a big
soggy, soggy, wet cabbage.
We did that at my dad's
I think I've had that once in my life ever.
I've had it 800 billion times because
you have.
Oh, Jesus God. That's everything in my life as a child was boiled. Everything was in a pot. And it was all, corned beef water with potatoes, and everything was all done. Both of my grannies did that. My uncle Mick, who lived in Dublin, our only Dublin relative, who lived over by the Phoenix Park. He was a great cook, but everything was boiled, and we were just like, oh God. Ugh.
Mr. Seiko, $4.99 blackcurrant with Guinness and a Jameson chaser. So he's putting the blackcurrant into, you know about that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The ladies, when they wanted a pint of Guinness, they'd have a little bit of blackcurrant in there just to sweeten it up.
Sweetened it up a bit, right?
Yeah, like the fellas would never have blackcurrant in a Guinness. But anyway, happy St. Patrick's Day. Roll on the rugby. We're going to win it. Let's have the crack. Is that the rugby is coming soon? I guess we're all in. I don't know who's playing. I don't follow it. My ma was here last year with my aunt, and they dragged me to the Irish pub. It seems to be a rolling theme when people who know me come to, besides you, Dirk, and so on, when people come to Venice, I wind up somehow in the fucking Irish pub. The same thing happened with Blondie when she came. I bring her to the Florian, and she sat there like half interested. And she's like, the Formula One's on. I have to see it. So I ended up going to the fucking Irish pub. So my ma dragged me to the Irish pub as well. I'm like, oh, the true Venice experience. Here we go. We're in the Irish pub. But to see the rugby, because I don't follow it. They needed to see the final. So I guess it's that time of year again. Mr. Seiko, I hope we win. How about that?
There's always the hurling.
The hurling. Did you have relatives who were hurlers? We used to play hurling. We used to go with hurling bats to school. Yeah. And, it was super violent school. So that's, when there was a fight, some guy had a hurl. And a lot of the hurls would crack at the end. So they get a big steel thing to hold it together. And that fucking steel thing would give it extra weight. Yeah. So they go into a scrap with the hurl. Happy St. Patrick's Day from County Cork, Sandsnake.
Cork. That's where me granny's from Mill Street.
I love this.
Yeah.
How many Irish do we have in the room?
You ever been?
I went to Cork. I played Queen's College in Cork with the band. And when we left, we said, let's never come back to Cork.
Cork. It's got the most.
There was a couple having sex on the floor next to the stage, full on. And then we went to a chipper, and some guy had his head kicked in. There was blood everywhere, and we were just like, "Let's get the hell!" And then we went back to our van. Our van was parked, and the windows were smashed. So we just got into the van. I was like, "Guys, can we never come back to Cork?" So it left a bad taste.
And it's a
beautiful.
Right?
It's a beautiful area. Cork is a magnificent.
It's big.
Coastline. Yeah, it's very big. I'm talking about Cork City.
Cork City, yeah, of course.
Which a lot of people in Cork consider the real capital. Like they resent Dublin.
Do you know why? Like, all the Corkonians are the ones. Many of them were the ones that became the Irish immigrants. So many people from Cork.
Because on that side, yeah.
Because it was rough life, rough. You guys had an infrastructure. Dublin is a cosmopolitan city, no matter how you slice it.
Mm-hmm.
Cork, rough. Limerick, worse. Stab City. That was a rough.
Yes, Limerick is bad. Yeah, Stab City. Tim Wright, is Oisin a St. Patrick of the watch world? Maybe that's what I'm doing, Tim. Maybe I'm driving the snakes into, because I don't know if you've been keeping up with recent affairs, but it's like a war against the cartel and everybody who's corrupt in the watch world. Yeah. So perhaps that's what I'm doing. I'm driving the snakes into the ocean or into the sea. And trust me, man, there's a lot more of them than you even know. There's Nathaniel. Irish mosquitoes are every bit as thirsty as pub patrons. Listen, the mosquitoes are our mosquitoes in Ireland, but it's not an issue. I mean, it's not an issue. You get a mosquito bite, it's a very rare thing in Ireland. I mean, mosquito bites are happening. Once the weather starts getting better here, I mean, the mosquitoes come in like hardcore. Italy is a disaster for that. Yeah. Oh my God. Every single room I have here has that little thing plugged into the wall just to piss them off and get them out of here. That's a lovely can. That's a nice big can. This is the biggest I could find. Look, the half.
I got the real guy, the nitrous-y cunt. Sorry.
It's great to have you back, man. It's great.
It's the nitrous cunt.
The nitrous.
The nitrous cunt.
Let me tell you, man.
Thank God they had these because I will not drink the Granny Guinness. I won't.
Oh yes, the extra stout. Stephen's very excited.
Horrible.
Stephen's very excited you're back. I was in a pub
Very
one
excited
time.
to be back.
I got chatting with a guy in New York. I can't remember what pub it was. And he was sitting at the bar. We got chatting. We were talking all night. And I said, by the way, like, I can't remember. I think it was music or something we were talking about. I can't remember. I said, by the way, what do you do? Do you mind me asking? And he said, actually, I'm kind of retired. I don't really do much anymore. And I said, oh, you're quite young for that. And he said, well, yeah, I made an invention, and it's one of those stories. Now I'll never have to worry for the rest of my life. I said, really? An invention? Like, that's cool. Tell me more. Like, I want to know what did you invent? Did you invent Velcro? Silent Velcro, or whatever. What's that thing from that film, Garden State? I invented silent Velcro. Now he's a gazillionaire. He said, I invented a little thing that creates a surge inside Guinness when you open it. It's a little plastic thing that kind of explodes when you open the Guinness. I'm like, that was you? I had no idea. The whole night I was talking to the guy who invented that funny thing that makes a weird sound.
Revolutionized Guinness. Revolutionized it.
Let me do it right now for anybody listening.
Almost did it. I just did it quietly.
So I'm gonna crack the can, guys. So you're gonna hear the crack, but then a split second after, you're gonna hear this little thing go. Okay.
Yeah, isn't that good?
Now that thing that went.
Isn't that amazing?
Is a thing that reacted to the change of pressure in the can, and it is now creating a surge inside the can.
And there's a thing.
It's not ready to drink yet.
Look at the domage I got. Holy crap! That's
nice.
Mm-mm.
It's like a meniscus.
This
Kieran Kelly guitarist, €20. Welcome back, Dirk. We missed you, dude.
Thank you, Kieran.
Oisin has been behaving himself mostly, kinda, apart from a couple of actual scraps. Actually, scrap that. I haven't been behaving, dude. I've been a bull boy. I mean, I've been saying all sorts of crazy shit and fucking calling people cunts all over the place.
Isn't that why everyone tunes in?
Have a great show, everyone's
good amount of it. I've caught a good. I've not been able to watch stuff live, but I've watched a bunch of it, and I'm like, what is happening in this world?
What is going on?
Oh, but and then we've talked privately, and now we know who the cunt villains are.
Oh my God, they keep expanding, man. They keep expanding.
People are whores. That's the way I look at it. I look at my life in friendships, of which I do not have very many really, really close friends. We all have a lot of peripheral friends, not acquaintances, but, people who probably think they're bigger friends with you than they are, et cetera, et cetera. But I can say that I can count my friends, my great friends, on one hand easily, because thick and thin, trials and tribulations, right or wrong, and that's a big one. Because even when the people you love are right or what they're wrong, you still love them and protect them. Your family, your best friends, it's just, you got to have somebody in your corner. I can count probably less than 5. Of course, you're one of them, as is your brother and his wife, and my Mary and Mimi and John. And that's it, and that's it. And everybody else to me is, kind of peripheral. Who's going to pick you up in the middle of the night when you get arrested? You know what I mean? You can call me up. I'll come.
That's the friend. That's the friend. Yeah. Yeah. You arrive at the door with a knife with blood all over it. You're in tears.
Get in here quick.
Who saw you? Who saw you arrive here?
Turn off all the lights.
Clean. Put the
Get the
knife in with the
bleach.
rest of your knives.
Yeah, get the bleach. It's in the garage.
Yeah.
Get with that. Let me get a bucket and a mop.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, well, listen, we make along the way in this path, especially as musicians, we've met so many people who become instant friends, and you think that they're, and then they're not. They're ships passing in the night. They maybe it's mutual. You could use them for something. They use you for you, but it's like the ones that stick. There's tests, and they're not on purpose.
It's real easy to be someone's best friend when the going is good, when everything's great, when everyone's happy. The test is when things aren't so great, when things are tough, when people are down. Then you find out who your real friends are. But by the way, thank you for reminding me, Daniel.
Thank you.
Sorry for your loss.
And my heart goes out to Diego. I know what you're going through, my friend. And we haven't interacted much, but of course you're a superstar on Tim's channel, and I don't know the circumstances, and I am, I can only say this to everybody out there. Jim Kennedy, my dad, was 94 years old, and he could still kick me arse. I mean, fuck. He was as tough as shit. And, your body just gives out, and we didn't expect it. He was 94. He was in and out of rehab. His blood pressure just dropped, and he just took off. And he didn't want to go either. My mom was ready to go. My dad was not ready to go. So cherish them while you got them. I remember the day your dad passed, John. I remember the day. I remember the day we all went to your gaff with a bottle of. I think I was with Colin, and the only thing we could get was cognac. Yeah, cognac. Yeah. And he was younger than I am now. Fuck.
Yes.
My dad was 94. I'm the last in line. My sister is, 11 years older than me, or 10 years older. So, I mean, listen, my dad had the best run ever, and he was the best crack in town, the smartest and the funniest guy. And I've told everybody this just to lighten the load, because I know everybody wants to give you sympathy and thoughts and prayers, and that's all lovely, and I appreciate all of it. But I was sitting in the hospital with my dad one time, and he said, what are you going to do when I'm gone? And I went, oh, geez, I'm going to miss you, Dad. And he goes, no, asshole. How are you going to learn how to fly coach? Because my dad worked for American Airlines, and I'm a princess who's flown first class his whole life and for free. And now I'm going to be like the rest of the punters with crewing points and shit. And he was dead fucking serious. You don't know how to fly coach.
Of course you do. Of course you do, because you know how to chat up all the ladies. You know how to compliment them, make them all feel beautiful and great. You can bring chocolates and cookies onto the flight. Right. They will pamper you, even though you're down at the back. Here's I just told you, right? I warned you. Look, old watch lady, I'm doing the green gold Daytona tonight.
She's got a John Mayer.
She has a John Mayer. I told you.
You have a John Mayer. Did you get that? I'll watch lady. I feel bad calling you. I'm going to call you OWL. Owl. Did you get that?
That's what she calls herself, because you see her little icon? It's an owl.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did you get that before he opened up his big trap? Did she get that before John Mayer proclaimed this the next big thing and it became the John Mayer?
It probably doesn't matter, because I would imagine, this is me guessing now, I have no proof of this, but I would imagine that she has such a rapport with her AD that even during the craziness, even the frenzy of last year when the things were going for 200K, she probably got one from her AD. That's my guess, because this is a woman with a very curated taste for watches, and probably has spent a lot of money at the AD. So it's the kind of person who would get the call if one of those come in. But that's my best guess. But maybe she got it before that. Maybe she was ahead of the curve.
Wow. Are you looking for a gay boyfriend? I like watches and I love travel.
There you go. Benzo 199. Glad you're back, Dirk. Happy days.
Thank you. Happy day, man. Happy day.
Thank you.
Good day. These Guinnesses go down way too easy, by the way.
Yeah, you're pounding them now. Look at you.
I'm on 2. Look at that. It's way easy.
Two of the big ones. It's 2 pints.
That's the problem with me and beer. I'm not a beer drinker, as you well know. But if I'm drinking beer, I pound them. I'm a beverage pounder. Why?
Especially if it's warm. If it's real hot out and you go through the
Ooh.
beers. Nathaniel's still here. St. Pat's 2003 at the Oliver St. John Goggerty pub in Dublin. That is on Fleet Street in Temple Bar, by the way, after watching the hurling national championship match. It's the very best day by far. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure. Was it hard to get to the actual bar and order a drink? That's always my problem when I go back to Dublin. Like when I go to the beautiful bars, the famous bars, it's like there's 50,000 people between me and the actual bar. I can't get to it to even order a pint, and I'm not a pretty girl, so there's no one making, getting out of the way for me. So I tend to go to the quieter places like Toner's and O'Donoghue's and, nice, quaint old pubs where old men sit in the corner.
You're a Dubliner, though. That's different. You know where all the drink is. They do not.
They do.
They go straight to Temple Bar.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, when you were a kid, when I was a kid, and we'd go to Uncle Mick's, Temple Bar didn't even have anything there. It was like desolate and dangerous and scary back then. And it's
Fleet
so
Street was
lively and fun.
Yeah.
It was where you got nicked. It was not a place you went, and now it's right. Oh, all the great crack is in there. Have you been to Temple Bar? La la la. It's amazing to me. And we used to be told, "Don't go there." It's incredible.
Look who's happy to see you.
He used to take us to Gravediggers when we were kids. That was his thing.
Gravediggers.
Yeah, by the cemetery over there.
We were always excited for new places. I'll never forget when that place, the Porterhouse, opened, and they were making their own stout there, which is now internationally available. It's oyster stout. And we were interested in new beers and so on. And after I left Ireland and I went back, I don't know how many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago, with one of the girlfriends, I don't know which one, I was introduced to all these new places with artisan beers and the finer, all of these. It's like people moved away from Guinness. Like they didn't want to know about Guinness anymore. They wanted to know about, Belgian beers and French beers and Italian beers. There's a wave of that. Yeah, there's a wave of that in Dublin. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, they moved off of the Guinness. So my older brother is a big beer aficionado. He knows everything there is to know about beer. Aaron. And he would just, he'd be like, no, we're going there because they have all this rare, amazing shit. And, it's like totally different stuff. It's like they got out of the Guinness spell. Mark Girard, by the way, is delighted to see you. So there's a big, enormous Dirk across the screen.
Mark Girard!
Carlos missed iBashers. This is going out on the iBashers channel as well tonight. Guys, if we want to talk watches, we will. If anybody's getting pissed off, we can
like
talk watches
too.
But it's Paddy's Day. Come on, guys, kick back and enjoy, and let's just have a chat. And
we'll just have the crack, sadly.
Right? So long. We're just having the crack here, fellas. That's all. I'll go into my Ronnie Drew voice. That's my Ronnie Drew.
Do I have click capability on this? Can I just say, Silvano, Vivanco, me too, Anch'io, motherfucker, Anch'io. I have tried and failed so many trillions of times of getting through that, and I have not been successful.
Just read the first 20 pages and read the last 2. That's all you need to read.
I know. And I just recently read, ready for this, Anna Karenina.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't read it because ever since I got the Bono book, somebody recommended I buy it on the audiobook. Yes. Which I have never partaken in because I'm an avid reader, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. It's story time for adults. It's the greatest thing that ever hit your brain. I'm obsessed. Audiobooks.
Audiobooks I love. I've been into audiobooks for decades.
I wish you'd told me, dunk off, go get it. So I did Anna Karenina, and it was like, I have never, and that's, supposed to be one of the greatest books ever read. I fucking hated it. There's too many characters. There's too much description. It's too flowery. It's so fucking get to the
Too
point.
much. Yeah,
It's
that's
too
too
much.
detailed.
Maybe
I
that
think
was
you
just the
should read.
style.
I think from Joyce, you should read The Dead.
Yeah.
Try reading The Dead. The Dubliners is the major work, and then The Dead is one of them. They made a movie out of that particular one. It's a short story, but it might touch you. I think it will. Audiobooks, man, I love them. I read In Cold Blood audiobook. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was an actor doing it, because sometimes you have the actual author in the case of the Bono, which is so great.
The best. I just reread Elvis Costello's book, Disappearing Ink, because I'd read it hardcover, and I got it because he read it, and of course I fucking love him, and it's so great. So great. And then I reread both Kate Mulgrew books because, you know, I am obsessed with her. And she's as Irish as fuck. And she spends all her time in Ireland. And she talks about Joyce and she talks about Yeats.
But you say you reread, you went
the audiobook. I got them. All these things, books that I loved. If the author has read them, I will get them again. And I get them for free. I got the New York Public Library app, which you can take the book out as an audiobook. It's brilliant. It's totally free.
Oh, I love
so
that.
Good. Yeah, it's so good. I'm sure.
Man. Here's the craziest thing happens when you have audiobooks, right? When you miss the train, you're secretly happy because you've got time to just stand and wait for the next train
and listen to a couple of chapters.
Oh, it's 13 minutes to the next train. Oh, dang it.
Chapter 27. I became the first starship captain. Engage. Fire.
Also, like, if you're on holiday and you're by the pool, you can lie back and get the sun. You don't have to stare at this thing. You can actually enjoy yourself.
I'm afraid I'll never go back. I'm gonna forget how to read.
Yeah, well, it might be better for the eyes. Honestly, it might be better for your eyes because you're staring. It's the same focal length the entire time. It's it goes back a long time. Snap $5 or £5 British. Hey, Oisin, I was in Ireland in the 60s as a child. County Wicklow, great memories. Great county, great country, great people, and great stories. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you so much. That's very nice.
Wicklow's great. We got both of our Irish Wolfhounds from the Sheila Seal Kennels in Wicklow. I grew up with Irish Wolfhounds, and we used to go to her kennel and get these. My dad would pick out. He actually picked out a runt one year, and he lived and is an Irish Wolfhound. They're the largest breed of dogs, by the way. And he lived to be 15.
There's one here. I saw one here. I saw an Irish Wolfhound here.
Didn't.
Oh my God! It was a horse. It was like a small horse.
If we were friends when I was younger, I mean, you wouldn't. All my childhood friends could not believe our dog. And we had two of them, and we named them both Mick because we're idiots. Mick 1 and Mick 2.
I love that.
Named after my uncle. They're beautiful though, and their motto is gentle when stroked, fierce when provoked.
That sounds like me.
Sounds like a Sheen. That's actually kind of true. You're kind of like a wolfhound. It's kind of true. Yeah. I mean, if anybody ever approached me, Ma, and when we were hanging out like on the street, or she had her kids with her and we had the dog, if anybody came near us, he'd go, the deepest thing you ever heard in your entire life. And then she would just say, no, it's okay. And he'd be like, oh, hi. They're beautiful dogs.
Stephen Ritter, I am Irish, never been to Ireland, but very deep bloodlines.
Go.
How Irish are you, Dirk? You've done the 23andMe, right?
100%.
Oh, you're 100.
100%.
But like not even like 99.9.
100%.
You might be more Irish than me.
I doubt it, but I mean, the thing is, we don't have very many holes in our story. We know who everybody is.
Oh, we do too. I mean, the O'Malley clan goes back centuries.
You
I
know
mean,
who the people are.
it's public information. Our family,
Sure. So are the Kennedys. It's like it's all
yeah.
You know, there's a couple of names that are out there that are have these connections to you. You know, you have the connection to the Irish Queen, the Pirate Queen, and it's Irish royalty, and the Kennedys were related to Brian Boru, and it goes down. But even forget about the history stuff. Like, I know who my great grandfather was. We know who they were. So I didn't think it was going to be like, you're a Jew. I didn't think that.
Right.
Or whatever. But it says 100% Irish. Crazy, right? I was like,
that's crazy.
Wah, wah. Would have been fun if there was something in there like Russian or
anything else
or something crazy, and they'd be like, what?
I think there's Jewish on my mother's side. I believe so. Or she's told me she gets a few drinks.
Get in?
Shut up. Shut up. You got to be careful in this ambience, by the way. These guys are
we're all
getting
joking.
Crazy. Of course we are.
As Borat would be like, what?
Yeah, Borat. Yeah, can you imagine these guys when they see Borat? These guys have no sense of humor, by the way. Unfortunately, that's the thing I'm discovering about the watch world. It is bereft of proper sense of humor. It's amazing. Anyway, Watch Wide Web. Cool name, man. 10.99. Happy St. Patrick's Day from Bahrain. Wow. Picked up my VTNR. That's the left-hand drive GMT, the one that points the other way. The Sprite, as many people say. Last week, congrats on that, man. The AD fella sent me off with a stickers and a barcode watch. Wow. He didn't even peel the thing off. Is that a protest? Wow. Or else he had no idea what he's doing, or he was drunk or something. Now I'm unable to wear the damn thing. What should I do? Listen, if you have other watches, here's for me, okay? If you have other watches, man, if you do, that you're happy to wear, and it's not essential that you wear the thing, please just put it back in the box. It's a stickered, including barcode, which is that side sticker on this flank here. That's super rare to see that. You have a fully stickered left-hand drive Sprite. Please put it back in the box and watch what happens, because in 2 weeks, things might be happening.
They're definitely getting rid of that.
I think they're turning it back to
totally will
regular.
It's a right-hand drive, yeah.
Yeah, it's a right-hand drive. But, dude, if you have a collection of watches, just wear your other watches. Put the thing away. Every now and then, open it up and look at it and go, but then
sell it.
And then sell it and buy an AP Royal Oak or something like that. I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, this stuff about, strip the stickers off and enjoy the watch. Sure. But in certain cases,
not that.
No.
It's like, I got a Snoopy box and papers. It's got stickers on it.
Yeah, it's sealed in the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Stick it in the museum then. Stick it in the bank. Daniel Katz, aren't snakes needed for the ecosystem? He's asking about the snakes being driven out of Ireland. No, right. No.
Well, that's a metaphor, my friend.
It's a metaphor. There are like certain, apparently like garden snakes or grass snakes, but I've never ever seen one.
I've seen snaky things, and there's certainly eels galore.
Right, there are eels. Yes, in the lakes there are eels. Yes.
Yeah. That's a metaphor for evil. He drove the evil out.
I'll never forget when Lydia. Here's a cute story. So my daughter, when she was a kid, she loved Jungle Book. The Disney.
Sure, of course.
And the snake goes, "Trust in me, just in me." There's a whole song, "Trust in me." Keep saying "me." So when she was a kid and she couldn't really speak yet, and it took her a lot longer because she had 2 languages. So they pick up slower, but it's very good for the brain, right? So when she saw a snake, right, she thought, "Trust in me," right? Oh. So we're walking along in Italy in the height of, it was August or something, and the heat, and you can hear the
cicadas.
Yeah. And all that heat and that intense Italian shit, right? It's like Godfather,
Sure.
and in Sicily. And she goes, da. She could say da because that's real easy. Da, da, da. I'm like, what? She goes, me. I was like, yeah, you.
Oh shit.
She goes, me. I'm like, yeah, you. What's the big deal? Why are you saying me? She goes, me. She points. She was trying to say, trust in me.
Snake.
She was pointing at an enormous snake.
Was it like a rattlesnake?
No, there's no rattlesnakes here.
Wow.
We have vipers here. We have all
Do you
sorts
have
of
vipers?
wild. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, there's a me. Okay. So I grab her and run. I'm like, this thing was long, it was black, it was like 6 feet long. It was the weirdest thing. She's like, that me.
Aren't snakes miraculously crazy? Their whole existence it's amazing. It's amazing evolution has turned into whatever it's turned into, but snakes have kind of remained the same.
There's a question for Dirk and Dirk only. Best Irish pub in New York.
I'm not a pub goer, my dear friend there, Scott.
McSorley's, everybody talks about.
No, I wouldn't say that. I used to work at a place across the street from a place called the Black Sheep, and it's a real Irish pub. It's not celebrated or famous or look at that combo. That's it. Hey, I was watching your stream earlier, and you were talking about the Jameson. I was like, when I was a kid, all the men drank John Power. Is anybody drinking that anymore?
Power's beautiful whiskey. Beautiful.
Because I remember I didn't even hear of Jameson until I was, like 15. But I remember everybody was drinking Powers.
There's Powers, there's Teachers. You ever hear of that?
Sure, Teachers. Yeah. Is that Irish? Yeah. Teachers?
Yeah, Teachers.
I didn't know. But I remember John Powers being the big, like everybody's like,
Power.
Hit me again, Powers.
Still a big heavy hitter. It is.
Because my dad's local was in Ballina, and it was called Moilits, which is a French word, but so is Reynolds. And my dad was not a whiskey drinker; he was a beer drinker, but he used to buy rounds of John Powers for everybody. And you don't see that here at all. But when my dad had his bar on Queens Boulevard, he made sure he had Powers for everybody. And my dad was a straight up beer drinker, and he didn't drink Guinness. He drank like Budweiser and weird shit. And when he was over there, he drank Harp. But I don't ever remember Harp, which I cannot drink because I become an absolute asshole. No, Durkee, no. I will get into the fucking scraps instantly.
Your Irish nature will come out.
Yeah, I'd be like, because you're a cunt.
Harp. It's the Irish harp bringing it all out of you, man. You know what? If you grew up in Dublin, you'd probably be in jail or something.
I'd be a Ballymun knacker. I'd be fucking the worst. I'd be like, yeah, you're looking at her, right? You fuck. I'm just such a dick on harp, and I don't drink it. As a rule, I won't drink harp. I don't know what it is about that stuff, but it's not good.
Anyway, best pub.
I'm going to say the Black Sheep. For me, I like the Black Sheep on 38th Street and 3rd Avenue. Hey, let's give a shout out to Ulysses.
Ulysses on Stone Street.
Yeah, because
and all its brethren. There's the other one. The
Library and the Dubliner is there.
What's the other one they have on 4th between Lafayette and on 3rd? It's called Colin plays there all the time in the corner.
Why don't we just give it up to Gibbo, right? And all his places. Because these guys have a friend that I haven't seen him in years, but when they first got here and we all became frenzy, they had a friend, Gibbo, and he immigrant from Ireland, opens up like
Mark Gibson.
Yeah. He has like 7 or 8 pubs. One of them is called what was the one?
He's the success story of the band.
He's
because he was part of our band. Technically, he was part of our band for a while, just like so we could help him out.
He's like a roadie, right?
I mean, not really. He was doing our website.
Oh,
he was doing our website. But then he opened a pub, and then we'd all do our after parties at his pub. I feel like he felt a little some nights he's like, Jesus, they're drinking a little. Oisin is drinking too much. It's like the
He got
bar
deported for a
$600
minute. Yeah,
he had a little bit of issues with the immigration, just technicalities, but he was fine.
Yeah, what was the one on A? What was that?
It was Bua.
Bua. That was the first one.
Bua Bar, yeah.
I don't
that's
know.
Where we do all the after parties down below, underneath in Bua. And Swift, by the way, is the bar I was trying to think of on between Lafayette. It was like 4th Street between Lafayette. There isn't much 4th Street, right? 4th Street
there is.
It's like 100 yards, right? Yes, for sure.
4th Avenue.
No, 4th Street between Lafayette and what's on the other side? Broadway?
Yeah.
Broadway and Lafayette and the 4th, right? Anyway, Benzo 199, Robert Kardashian. Better than OJ. What? Are we talking about that? I guess we're talking about that. You know what I want to talk about actually for a minute is did you watch the Oscars?
Oh, let's talk about all of that, can we? Can we talk about all of the award shows that I missed on iBash?
There's so much to get through.
Can we talk about all of it? And I'll listen, and then I'll speak.
Can we talk about Angela Bassett not applauding Jamie Lee Curtis?
Grotesque is all. And I have tremendous respect for that woman. And the first thing I said when I saw her arrive on the red carpet was like, she's dazzling with that
Angela Bassett.
Yeah, that purple gown.
Oh my
Holy smoke show.
Stunning.
Elegance and beauty, and the color on her just looked, it was the most perfect thing. I've always had respect for her. I also thought that she had an Oscar previously. I thought she got it for What's Love Got to Do with It. I was wrong. She didn't have it, but she expected to win for Wakanda Forever. Somebody should win for a Dennis the Menace movie or fucking, any superhero bullshit. Those movies are absolute utter bollocks, friends. They're, like the Sean Cassidys and the David Cassidys and the fucking Bay City Rollers. It's just pop filler for you. You shouldn't expect to win an Oscar for that. And she did. Disgraceful. Jamie Lee Curtis, brava.
Have you seen that film? I was watching it last night. I didn't get it all the way through. It was late. But my God, it's amazing. And, I feel like they got so many awards as a bit of an indicator to the industry. Guys, you don't have to spend $1 billion. They spent $25 million on that film.
On Everything Everywhere at Once. I got to admit, I couldn't get through it because it was... One, I was sitting with Paul, and that's my first problem. And two, because he hates all sci-fi matrixy shit.
I see.
And I probably
it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I haven't finished it, but I was like, look at what they're able to do with little money, just using a little imagination. Yeah, creation, imagination. Yeah. And so I feel like maybe it was like a bit of a smack in the hand for the James Camerons of the world who need to spend $1 billion on a movie.
That's shite.
That's probably total crap.
Because the first one was shite.
Really bad. Can you make it through movies? I don't know.
And I've liked a lot of James Cameron's movies. I love The Fucking Abyss. And I love what was the other one with Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger? That was a True Lies. Great movies. I'm not a big fan of the Terminators. I understand they're great. It's not really my thing.
The first one was a breakthrough. The first Terminator. Okay. I mean, I know Terminator 2 was amazing, but Terminator 1, when that came out, it just changed everything. It changed. It was like The Thing that changed everything as well. There's so many American movies that changed the landscape of movies. The Godfather, American cinema, really, it's their
Jaws.
It's been their world for 50, 60 years now. The Italians are done, man. They're done. Neil Gundel, $4.99. What Irish musicians should I listen to? So far, I like Christy Moore, U2, Sinead O'Connor, and the Cranberries.
Nice.
Well, I mean, what do you want? Do you want traditional? So you should, if you want something a bit more Irish, you should go Clannad.
Yeah. Clannad, yeah.
Clannad, okay?
Oh,
And there's actually a song with Bono singing with Clannad.
gorgeous.
It's a beautiful old Irish stuff, but kind of almost in the pop realm. Then you might want to go Moving Hearts. No
I don't know
singing.
Moving Hearts.
Moving Hearts, beautiful, amazing stuff. Owen O'Neill, one of the best bass players to come out of Ireland. And, beautiful stuff. Tin Lizzy. Tin Lizzy is Irish rock. That's
a great one.
Rock and roll. I don't know. The list is long, man. It's long.
It's huge. I mean, Mary Black.
Mary Black. Her daughter is a singer now, Roisin.
I didn't know that.
I'm friends with her on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. Roisin, yeah, Black. That's her daughter. Doesn't look anything like her, strangely. But she seems very talented. There's some suggestions for you, Neil.
Some of the good ones.
Nathan Wilson, 28 Canadian dollars. Thank you. Wow. Happy St. Paddy's Day from Montreal, Quebec.
Merci, monsieur. Merci.
Merci. With a cold one, playing the night over at McKibben's Irish Pub in town here. Need to pace myself. Goes till about 4 a.m. Yeah, pace yourself. That's the problem with Paddy's Day, man. You can get ahead of yourself. Oisin, ever play pubs while in Dublin, or mostly proper show bars? Yeah, I mean, I played every pub in Dublin. A lot of the old pubs don't have a stage or anything, but anywhere that had a stage, I played. I was 20 years old. Yeah, everywhere. The Maggot Bin, the Bagot Inn. We called it the Maggot Bin. And various other places. Benzo again. Every time I hear Charles Mingus' name or music, I have to spread word that I know his former stepchildren, and according to them, he sexually abused them for 4 years. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
My favorite composition of Charles Mingus, and any jazz fans are going to throw up right now, but it's a bit of a joke, but he was singing Happy Birthday to You when he was 54. And there's a recording of him at a piano. Happy birthday to you, blah, blah, blah. Then he stops and then he goes, how old are you? How old are you? 54, motherfucker. It was just great. It's just like a great moment. Randy Rodriguez. Marched down the canyons of Manhattan today with my fellow firefighters. Oh, nice. What a mind blower. People were going nuts. And now sipping a Macallan 12. Happy St. Pat's. That's how you say it. Happy St. Pat's. He's a proper man there. He knows what he's doing. Great to see you again, Dirk.
Great to see you too, Randy. And thanks for everything, man. Love that guy.
He's the best, man. Happy St. Pat's. You see, you got to know the Irish to know how to say that right. So again, guys, anybody watching, it's Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Did you do that?
I did it. I had to. Anything but Patty.
Oh, Happy Paddy's Day.
Happy Burger Day, right?
Happy Burger Day. Oh, yeah. The worst.
Yeah, it's the worst. One guy actually reached out to me earlier going, isn't it an Americanized version because Paddy is offensive? Paddy is offensive, like to call someone a Paddy. And so I'm like, what? You're talking about the people who do not get offended by anything. So
like a paddy wagon.
Paddy wagon.
A paddy wagon. So that's where you lock up the Irish drunks.
Yeah, the Irish drunks that go in the paddy wagon. Happy St. Patrick's. Happy St. Pat's or Happy Paddy's Day. Not St. Paddy's, but just Paddy's Day. Paddy's Day. It's because we knew Patrick. Paddy. It's his day.
It's
Paddy's Day. Jesus.
Top of the morning to you.
Daniel, Portrait of an Artist.
Portrait of an Artist. Are you talking about documentary now? Are you talking about Kate Blanchett, who didn't win, by the way?
No, she didn't win. Who won? It was Michelle Yeoh.
I like Michelle Yeoh. I'm not going to say anything bad about her.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Yeah,
I like her. And you know what? Tar was brilliant acting, of course, but it was so hard to get through that movie because she was such a twat.
Nathaniel again, $5. Look, he's got $50 to spend. He's just going to hit us with 10 questions. I see what you're doing, my friend. Irish book recommendation at Swim, 2 boys, Jamie O'Neill. It's about the Easter Rising, stream of consciousness. About the Easter Rising. Wow. Okay.
Heavy.
Just after the lockout, right? The great 1913 lockout. Kieran Kelly guitarist, $5. Since we have the Omega Speedy Gurus. Okay, so now some watch talk. Okay. So all you 100 people who disappeared in the past 10 minutes, you can all come back because we're going to talk watches for a minute. And this is our wheelhouse here, the speedy stuff. Omega, Seamaster, Broad Arrow, which I have one here somewhere. Any particular year better than the others? Oisin, yours is 1998. Yes, it is. Going to be next purchase, I think. Yes, because it's the 42 millimeter impersonation of the CK2915. It's the only one that.
Oh, right. You got the big version of that. You got the big with the old bracelet on it. Yeah, which is perfect for you because you got tree trunks,
right?
Because the other ones are 38.7 and that's or 38.9, and which are great for Dirk, bad for Oisin. Because the original CK2915 was a 38.9 millimeter watch. It's, not a small watch, not the 34, 36 millimeter watches of yesteryear, but it's still small compared to today's choices, and especially if you have a big tree trunk. So what kind of a wrist do you got going on there, mister? Oisin's is great. I spied that watch for a really long time because the only thing that used to throw me off about it is because it's my least favorite Omega bracelet. It's very comfortable. It's incredibly luxurious feeling. But see, that's the link. Oh, fuck.
That's the original.
I just get weak. My blood pressure drops and I just get so
straight lugs.
Straight lugs,
reaching out beyond that end link. Look,
it's the most, to me, that is the most beautiful watch ever made.
Dot over 90, not because it's a flex, but because that's the way it was. I hate the fact that they brought back dot over 90.
It's gross.
Even a fucking moon swatch has dot over 90. I'm like, what are you doing?
It means nothing.
It means nothing now.
It means nothing now. But the most beautiful watch ever. Look at that. Oh, Jesus. The old logo. Oh, look at that. Oh. It's just so beautiful. I just love the flat link. I love the original. And the new bracelet, which you can get on the 60th anniversary Speedmaster. That's it's a modern iteration of that bracelet,
Look at this. Can a man in a $27,000 suit settle for a $235 watch?
I want to die right now.
You want a time machine right now?
I want to. Oh man, you know how many time machine like dreams I've had? I've had so many time machine dreams about what would I do? Okay, so the first thing I do is I get in the time machine and I'd go to like 1958. But here's the thing I've thought this through. You have to have currency of the day.
I know it's hard. It's hard. It's not as easy as you think. Yeah.
So now you mentioned Velcro earlier, and I've geeked out on this a million times. I'm a big Star Trek guy, but there's an episode called Carbon Creek on the second season of Enterprise, where T'Pol goes back in time and meets her grandmother, and she needs to put these beautiful people through school, and she has no currency, so she takes Velcro off of the Enterprise and she sells it as a new idea.
Well, that's a brilliant thing to do. Go back in time if you're going back in time to sell technology. However, how many people know what to do? Like I'm bringing this up in a new video I'm doing about watch movements. If you went back 1,000 years and they were still using candles and incense sticks and so on to time and sundials, and you went, no, guys, there's a much easier way. Would you be able to build a watch? Would you be able to show them how to do it? Would you be able to actually construct a watch or a clock, even a simple one, even a grandfather clock?
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Also electricity. Oh yeah, we can harness this energy. How do you do it? What do you do?
Get a kite.
Get a kite and sit around. Okay, so this is the new 57 model.
Yeah,
That
George.
Look at him.
Well, that's a different story because can you pull up the 311 10 39 30 01 001? Can you pull that one up?
311.
311 10 39 01 001.
Jesus Christ, you're the only person I know who knows these references. Oh shit, no, you got it wrong.
No. 311 10
10.
39 39 30. You missed one.
I missed one.
39.30.01. 39.30.
There you go. You got it right. Jesus. Dude. That's insane, man. Okay, great. So we're okay. So this is the 60th anniversary.
That is just pornographic. That is a mod. Of course, it's got an 1861, whereas the original one had a 321. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference. I mean, now you can get a 321, as we all know. 1861 is a great movement. You know, it's just just a
sure.
It's not column wheel. You know,
tried and tested.
So you can get that in the email. Look at that.
Yeah,
that watch. That's the same flat link. And see, look, the difference is also the lugs. They're exactly straight. They don't go out. But that's strictly from the new iteration of the bracelet, because it's made like today's bracelets. It's chunky. It's thick. It's got the you can randomly adjust it. It's a beautiful piece.
So this one came as part of the trilogy.
Do you have that one handy?
Which one? The new one? Which one?
Your 42 millimeter broad arrow.
I do. I can go get it in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you looking to see?
I just want to see it on your wrists. I want to admire it.
What do you want to know, Kennedy? What do you want to know?
I want to admire it on you. That's all. Because I think that's the most beautiful watch ever made. And I think you could buy that and be done with it. Because you wear that, it's just
this thing. No, I can't. It's too small. I had it on my wrist only a few weeks ago.
No, not this one. Too small.
Yeah, it's way too small.
What is this? Which
38.9. This is the 60th, the one you love.
Oh no, you can't wear that one. No, but that's why I'm the 42. I mean, it looks the same. It does. It doesn't have the bracelet. It's got the modern.
It has the modern bracelet, which kind of kills it a little bit, I have to say.
But you think? Have you tried it on? It's a silky, beautiful bracelet.
Oh my God! I mean, the watch is magnificent, but no, it's a button on my wrist. Unfortunately, that's the same old problem, But yeah, I mean, look, this is as close as they ever got to. Well, they did do that 321 last year. That's in Canopus Gold.
The Ed White or the Canopus Gold one?
Yeah, the Canopus Gold 321. Let me have a look here. And this thing looks if I can find it here. This thing looks very original, doesn't it? Can you see that?
It does, but that's the Ed White. That's platinum, isn't it?
Is that the Ed White?
I think it is. Yeah.
No, this is the new one that came out. This thing is 60 or 70 grand. The Ed White you can get for about 15 or 16.
Can you?
It says here, yes, the Ed White is 15, 16. That's where it is. Oh yeah, this is the one that has the 321, but it has the horse over it. It has the hippocampus over it. They shouldn't have done that. No.
I love the hippocampus. However, there's a 321 in there, and we want to see it.
That's what we want to see. That's what we came to the show for. As the long S, long R, the old Omega font, the applied logo, of course. Dot over 90 because it's emulating an old thing, not because they're trying to just make that happen artificially, which is ridiculous. Heritage models. Look, this shit. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. I mean, this is a beauty.
That's a beauty, man. Look at
65th anniversary. Yeah.
Now that's 39, right?
38.9.
38.9.
Same dimensions as this. Look, there it is with a CK.
It doesn't have. Yeah, it's got platinum indices. It doesn't have the antiqued indices.
Right. Doesn't have strips of loom or whatever.
Look at that. That's sexy as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna watch a movie. Yeah, this is not right.
That's enough.
Is that not enough just to know?
Yeah, if you don't know after that.
I mean, you got to be a Speedy fanatic, but look, I mean, is that not the most beautiful movement ever made? It is just gorgeous.
Perfection.
It is just so beautiful. And of course they had to bring it back after all the the peanut gallery. We're talking about it for so long. I mean, it's so much prettier than the 1861 and the 3861. It's so much prettier, but it's because of the materials, That's the other thing.
Let me go get my broad arrow. 1 second.
Yeah, go get that. Oh, he went on there. It's a beautiful watch. So I'll answer some questions while he's doing that. What do we got going on here? Yeah. It's column wheel. Yeah. Yeah, now they're cam, right? What do we miss? Oh, yeah, Somewhere in Time. Benzo 199. Of course, that's a great one. Incredible movie. Ticking Time. Dirk, in honor of your father, I'm having a pour of Redbreast 21. Ah, good for you. Thank you so much. Glad to have you back on the stream. Lost my dad in 2005 at the young age of 52, which is younger than I am right now. I'm so sorry to hear that. Cheers at the time we had the fathers. Yeah, my dad was an amazing guy. I had the weird, we didn't get along in my teenage years, strictly because he just didn't understand me being into the rock and roll shite. And, but he came around and it was pretty great. And he got, today for €10. Bought my first Speedmaster 2 days ago. Sapphire sandwich. I'm not an anorak, so the latest interconnection suits me fine. 8-inch wrist. 8-inch wrist. Ow. Oh, you are a ride, my friend. Wow. That's a big ass
boy.
wrist.
Big boy.
Christ almighty. That's big, man. 8-inch wrist is big, Wow. I'm just going over some of the things you might have missed along the way.
Sure.
We'll go back to some of the Kieran 7.5 versus no more smaller than my 40 millimeter 41. Yeah, of course, for a 7.5. Yeah, it's perfect for you.
Perfect.
Of course, Kieran. Of course it is. And it probably looks great. Send us, everybody, send us your wrist shots. Send some wrist shots. We'd love to see that.
Did you pick this up, this surrender saying?
I didn't.
20 British pounds. Evening all. Happy Paddy's Day, people. Mr. Seiko. Do you know Mary from Donegal?
No, but I know her sister.
God bless Dirk. Great to see you back.
Thanks, Shannon. For
$20. Thank you so much. Far too kind. Wow. Cheers. This is a good night so far. This is great. Cheers from Boston. This is Portuguer. So you're into a Portuguese, yeah? Having a Smithix. My dad likes Smithix, and my godfather likes Smithix. Best channel for a physicist who also loves art, tales, and watches. Absolutely. Fantastic. Happy Paddy's Day.
Happy Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
That is porn, though. Look at that thing. Ugh. Blah.
I was commenting on friends that show up with a bloody knife, says Ben. So I know that's get in. Close the door, look around the street, see if anybody sees you coming in.
If I don't answer the door, you know what that means.
Yeah. Logan Frame 999, Thoughts in the Omega Museum 1949. Resend Timer with the 3201 movement. We'll come back to that, man. I'll find it. Check out the movie Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve?
Yeah.
Is that what he was talking about? Somewhere in Time? Ticking Time, $10. In honor of your father, I'm having a pour of Redbreast 21. Wow. Glad to have you back on the stream. Lost my father in 2005 at a young age of 52. That is very young. Cheers to the time we had and our fathers. Wow. Thank you,
I
man.
saw one of your streams where you were talking about how we're getting to the age where people are dropping dead, and it's
Yeah.
like I'm like, fuck, I'll be 58 this year, and I'm like, I know so many dead people at this point that aren't people's parents. You see it on Facebook, and you just go, how the fuck did that? You can't believe that when you're 20 and you're 30 and you're 35 and you're 40. You know, I met Bashim when I was in my 30s, and you know, they were in their 20s, and like shit just happens. Life goes along the way. You go to Italy and you travel around and you have great times, and the next thing you know, you're pushing 60, and then people that you know are dying. And
I thought you were saying. I thought you were about to say. Next thing you know, you're pushing up daisies.
no, I don't want to say that. I'm hopefully, like, you know, I have some of the longevity my
No,
dad
no,
has,
no.
but, you know,
You've got the longevity. You've got the good blood, man.
let's
And
hope.
you're a healthy boy. You're a healthy boy.
I mean, I do some stupid things, but you know, I don't do drugs, but I do other stupid stuff.
You just drink too much coffee. That's it. Your heart is pounding all day long. So
I'm staring at my espresso machine is right there. Fucking, you know what? I'm turning it on.
He's getting warmed up. Look, today for €10. Bought my first Speedmaster 2 days ago with Saffron. Oh, that's the one you got to. Okay. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Show it off, lady. Let's see.
It's gonna be better on you than a sub, which is 40 or 41 mil. So
I'm a little obsessed with Submariners at the moment. I have been really all over the no dates, looking at them. And as I was talking to Paul's dad, who's a big Omega aficionado, as you know, and he's been doing this. Dirk, you see this? He's been doing that, so I know that there's another watch on his horizon. He's scoping shit out. And we were talking about stuff today, and I sent him a couple of subs, and he went, oh God, those are beautiful. Because, you know, no helium escape valves and all of that shit. And I was like, look at the way Rolex do that. There's no cupcake. There's none of that crap like on a Seamaster. I mean, Omega really should get their shit together and fucking finally get rid of that, because it's so stupid and it's really kind of ugly.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
You don't mind?
You know what I mean? I love my Seamasters. I know,
and that's the watch that he has as well. His gateway watch is also yours, as is so many people. But he for the first time ever, he started salivating over Submariners, and I was like, yeah, dude, I don't know how that happens.
It has to happen.
It sneaks up on you, and the next thing you know, you're jerking off to, like, you know, looking at different subs.
Dude, you know it happens to you also with I'll tell you what it happens to you with as well, and this sneaks up on you really bad. That shit, that begins to happen, and then you're in trouble. Then you're in
that's
big
fucking trouble.
So I have my I suppose broad arrow reissue here. I guess I can stick it on the wrist.
Put it on the wrist.
Yeah, let me show it to you. I'm gonna put my cigar somewhere. The cigar stand is gone. So this is what I had on, because I had the green and gold. You know, I was trying to do the green and gold Irish thing. But yes, I'll show you what this looks like. And this is 42 mils. It's released in the late 90s, along with two other models that are not as nice as this one. I think this is the best one. There it is.
That's the light. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's gorgeous. Once again, it's like, you know what? If you threw a flat link,
it's got the steel bezel. Yeah, if I put a flat link, like if I was able to source one, or even like a third party one that emulate the same.
Uncle Seiko's got them.
Yeah, and Forstner also.
Right. Forstner.
Steel bezel. The broad arrow. It's got the applied logo. Come on, baby.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
it's got the applied. You can see it shining.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the old Omega font. Doesn't have dot over 90. I don't mind that.
Who
cares? Now it has the fire up. It has the sides, the crown guards, if you will. Yeah. So it doesn't have exposed pushers. So it's a bit of a kind of a hybrid.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it. Like,
No, it's beautiful. It's a great alternative,
Yeah.
and you can get them at a very reasonable price.
These are still, I mean, $5,000, man.
Yeah.
You know, like that's great.
Can you go wrong with that?
No.
Not really. Not really.
Let me get through some chats again.
Yeah.
Tim is saying upvote. Yeah, guys. Anybody forget to upvote? Please upvote. It really helps. It really helps.
Hey, Timmy.
Kieran has this. There's his reference number. Jeepers. Can I even find that right now?
That's the racing, right? That's the gray dial with the yellow accents. Is that which the one? 32630 40 50 0601. That's the racing. Omega Racing.
Watch him get it right.
Omega Speedmaster Racing gray dial black inserts with like a racing with yellow accents.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now. Who thinks he's right?
I don't know. I could be totally off. Gray dial, black kind of like carbon fiber.
You're fucking exactly right. You lunatic! This is nuts, man.
Pull it up.
How do you know these references? This is nuts.
No.
That's what came up.
Because I don't watch porn.
Racing.
Yeah.
You don't watch porn. You look at this stuff.
I look at the
gray dial with the yellow accents.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love the yellow.
Look at the price of that.
That
is so cheap for such a brilliant watch.
It's beautiful.
Oh my god,
beautiful. It's beautiful. Look at it. It's beautiful. Get it. Gorgeous. I love that watch.
No, he has it. He has it already. Kieran.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he has it. And he loves it. Now, is that 44 mil or 42?
It's 40 mil, I think.
Oh, it's 40 mil. Jeez, you're
right. It's a 40 mil.
Dude, you're an encyclopedia of Omega. It's nuts.
40.
I'm supposed to be the big Omega fan here, but I think you beat me, man.
You're all over. You know so much.
You got me beat.
I don't know anything about fucking AP, and I know a little bit about Rolex, but you are all encompassing.
Benzo says no, it's the movie with Jane Seymour. Yes, that's the one we're thinking of. Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour. I had like a half an hour, a 40-minute conversation with Jane Seymour once. You know where? In the Apple store. In the Apple store on Prince Street, the first Apple store, at the Genius, waiting in line at the Genius bar. She was one ahead of me, and we got talking. And she brought her daughter's Pismo. Remember that?
Oh, wow.
Remember what a Pismo was?
I do remember the Pismo.
I'm going to just bring it up for the nerds. The Apple Pismo. It was the G3 laptop with that sleek, delicious design.
The clamshell, right?
Yes, and that's smooth. Come on, give me a photo. Just someone give me a regular. The internet is such a mess these days. It's just full of nonsense. Okay, here we go. So, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, go away. You see, this is the problem. Here we go.
She was still a bang, right? Total bang, right?
Oh, she's beautiful. Yeah, and I played my best game I can ever play. You know, I mean, I was chilled as hell. Like, you know. There's the Pismo.
Oh yeah.
Wow. You know how I know it's the Pismo? Because the keyboard is not black. It's a kind of a toffee brown, see-through brown. You see that? That's the Pismo. I could remove that thing and take out the processor in it. That's what I used to do. I used to overclock the processors in these. I was able to take a 300 mega or 333 megahertz up to 500 megahertz by soldering a little thing on the backside of the chip, because the chip was on a board. Yeah. Oh, so she was there with her daughter's one and waiting in line forever. And we got talking, and I was like, well, let me take a look, because maybe I can help you. And we spoke for a long time. I never spoke about her career or anything, you know. But I mean, it took all my strength not to say, I fell in love with you when I was a kid in that movie. Because, of course, he goes back in time, and she's the most delectable creature maybe ever in the history of the world, and he falls in love with her, and it's a beautiful story. And then he takes a receipt out of his pocket one day, and he's reminded of the time, and he goes back to the future again. Josh D, $5. Dirk, have you ever crossed paths with the New York man, Prong?
I know who they are, and I know people who know them real well. I have a friend named Steve Messina, who is kind of my band's mascot, who's also in that world of the more like, I don't even know prong. I guess, would you call them hardcore or progressive hardcore? Or I
don't know them.
You never heard of prong?
Never heard of them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like who's the bass player that's really crazy that loves Rush?
Yes, I know.
Les Claypool. What's his band
Les
called?
Claypool. Primus.
Yeah, Primus. Right. I could be wrong because I'm so bad with this because I stopped listening to new rock in like 1988. Very little rock, which is really said Dirk Masso. I fucking wish. Can I tell you something about Tim Masso? It's like, Paul, my partner, he's well aware of our little fascination with this world. And before that, it was every Les Paul serial number and, equipment and all this crap. But he's so impressed by Tim Masso because Tim Masso starts. And he's the godfather of everything. Talk about reference. He knows the reference for everything. He knows what every part and everything, every release date, everything about every watch ever. Right. The guy is an absolute, utter legend. Fucking love him. He's incredible. So that's flattering, and I'm a joke. So
there's Graham, $5. Check out the 118238 with amber green dial stick indices for Deadly Paddy's Day piece. My latest addition. Cheers, man. Let's look it up. 118238. Reminds me of a film I like, actually.
It does a little bit. Right?
It's a little bit. Is he talking about with amber green? You're gone Rolex here, dude. You're gone way into high level shit here.
Is that that
is
crazy?
That's your latest pickup? Oh my god, this guy's a heavy hitter. Okay, because this is like,
isn't that the precious stone dial? Yeah,
I don't know if that's precious stone, but
that's
Jesus, this is like,
oof. Oh, it's not. Look at that. Wow. That's all.
This one's got a service sticker on one side. Look, that's been to service. That's what that looks like.
I worry about.
I like the Chemin de Fer with Roman numerals in the Chemin de Fer. Look how sexy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, that bracelet is just.
I mean,
you know what? I'll tell you something. You know what? That bracelet. I don't know what do you call that iteration? I know we call it the president bracelet, but is there like on my Speedy Reduced, which has a 1479 bracelet, the 1479. I feel very much, and the new version of the new Speedmaster bracelet, because the bracelet that I dislike tremendously is the 1498. It's my least favorite Omega. I like 1450, which is what you have.
Yes,
on your Speedmaster with the 808 end links, and to me that's the most beautiful. I mean, one of the most beautiful bracelets ever created by God, especially with the 808s. I've got the 1479 right there, which is gorgeous, and the one we were talking about that I don't like is the 1498. Now, I think yours and mine are very, very similar. That president bracelet.
You have that extra little link in between. You got 5 links across. Yeah.
So when I pop this, let me take off my swatch, and then when I pop this on, it's the silkiest, and it's such a glittery. Look at this glittery little cunt. My God, she shines like a diamond. She shines like a diamond. It's just so unbelievably beautiful. And that watch, that bracelet on that Rolex reminds me very much of that. That's a beautiful. I would love that watch. That's fucking gorgeous. But is it a 36?
It's probably a 36. Yeah, it looks like a 36. Benzo, I know, guys. I'm just saying the focus is on Jane. Absolutely. But Christopher Reeve in his heyday, man, what a great guy.
He was a beautiful man, wasn't he? He was a beauty.
Yeah,
he was fucking Superman.
He was Superman, yeah. He was cast. He was like, he had big glasses on. He was skinny and tall and weird. And a brilliant casting director saw potential in him, and they built him up themselves. They got him into bodybuilding, and they built up the man. It took them a year and a half. Andrew Volkovich, our man, 550.
Hey. And now he's Andrew W.
Yeah, Andrew W. Just to make
Get
it
your
easy.
name back. We love your Andrew Volkovich.
My two favorite Irishmen. Well, that's awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I gotta wind up my
London McLeod of the Clan McLeod, California.
London McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
Canadian 20. Glad you're back.
I will.
I'll be back. Hi, Ocean Jargon. This is Michael Ford for 15 Aussie, I think, or Aussie dollars. Aussie dollars. Paddy said, Golf Day with the Irish, the Redlands, Queensland. Neil should listen to Mr. North. Cry Before. Oh, yeah. Well, of course, that's an Irish band. I forgot to mention my own band. I think I asked him about Irish music earlier. I forgot to. He's into U2 and stuff. I should have told him.
You're like Horse Lips.
Horse Lips. Great band, by the way.
Great band.
Amazing band.
Notice none of us said Van Morrison.
No. Well, he's Northern Irish. So
he's Northern Irish.
Well.
Doesn't count.
Shit. I forgot to mention my own band, Mr. North.
Mr. Nort. It's Nort. Mr. Nort.
Mr. Nort. Witness to the World. Great Irish bands. Wow. Okay. Great. Cry Before Dawn. Sounds amazing.
Cry Before Dawn, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Whew, I'm taken aback by these comments.
Who thinks of themselves when they,
No, I would
name a great Irish actor.
I would never. Yeah, right.
It'd be like up your hole. There'd be comments galore.
Huron Kelly guitarist Oisin, did you move in the green Aquaterra? I did, and I made a video and I compared the Aquaterras. And then I sold it on because I was not as much a fan of the new one as my other black one, the Golf Edition. Also, I had the green one. I offered it to this guy, and he chose the watch he has on. I gave him. That was Sophie's choice.
It wasn't easy.
It was not easy.
We were sitting in. It was our first day in Venice in 2021, and we're sitting at a table. I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant because I don't want to swarm it.
Right.
Or should I?
No. Please.
Right. So
they do fine. They have fucking.
We're sitting in a restaurant that is just fucking unbelievable. And I had been hearing about it for so long, and we finally got in there, and we got the table that was canceled by Angelina Jolie. He called his guys because he's friends with all these fellas there, right? He's royalty, and they're like, "Oh, Shane, sorry, we can't do it." Blah 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 blah. And then he gets a phone call. Angelina Jolie just canceled. You can have her table. So we got her table, and I'm like, we're sitting there and having a nice couple of aperitivo or whatever. And then he goes, "Listen, man, I just want to say thank you for because we had done some stuff before." And he put two watches down and said, "He goes, pick one." I was like, "What? What?" And it was this one. It was the Speedy Reduced, and it was the Aquaterra Green, which I had lusted after for a very long time. Like I almost pulled the trigger on it a couple of times. And the Speedy, because as you guys all know, I'm such a Speedy freak. No, it didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. And also it was like new and stickered and stuff. And this one was, like slightly vintage. It's from the 90s. And I was like, oh, I love that one. And I love it.
Also, the Aquaterra had a disadvantage because it was evening time, candle lit, and all of that, or not candles, but those low lights. Yeah, and so you couldn't really see the green. That's a watch where you can't really see the green. It looks black. It doesn't look as interesting unless you get it under sunlight. It's a bit like the Z Blue Milgauss. Whereas the watch you took in the end was glimmering, it was shining, it was
I have no regret over that. Yeah, because I have tried that watch on in the Omega boutique since.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I go there from time to time to just go, what's going on? You know, and sometimes you go in there and, you know, they know me by name in there, even though I'm not a guy that goes in there and buys a lot of watches, but they know I know a lot of shit and they love that. They love when you know about their products. So like I've had a couple of glasses of champagne and then I tried that on and I was like, you know what? There's something about the dial that and the bezel being so small, whereas I think Rolex does a better job of that with their Oyster Perpetual. I think that the ratio of dial to bezel is better on the Oyster Perpetual, and I think that that's probably the closest comparison to an Aquaterra. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
You know, for not for fun because Rolex is just ridiculous money, but I mean, I think pound for pound, aren't they kind of like in the same? Like the person who's shopping for this might go for this. Yeah, I just think that the Oyster Perpetual's got a better. Like I think that the dial's too big and the bezel's too small, and when you put it on, it's all dial. It's really, you know, and like when you put on a date just or you put on an Oyster, there's so much glittery bezel on that, and there's a lot of porn for pound there. You know?
There's a lot to be said as well for a tapered bracelet. You have to remember that
a lot.
What you have on there is the tapered bracelet, and there's just this. That's king. That is king.
And the Aquaterra does not have the taper.
It doesn't have it.
Look at that.
Yeah,
this is like this looks like super fine jewelry.
Yeah.
You know?
I
mean, the taper is just outrageous.
Yeah.
You know, and it's got a great little snick and a snip. Ready? We do it real loud. Hold on.
Oh, nice. Snick and a snap.
Snick and a snap, Tim Masso.
But you can see like taper, when there's taper, it just adds a little bit of extra class.
It's
that's
classy.
One thing, Omega fall down on, and that's, I mean, but they're never going to do it because that would be copying their rival, right? So,
well, they do have models that do that, but just not to that extent. I think the Rolex taper is just so elegant. You know, and then you look at other brands that don't do it at all, and it just looks, you know, like you see rappers with stupid watches on, and it's just like a big. You can always tell the crap watches. You can always tell, even if you can't see the dial.
It's a penny, money, and time travel. You guys mentioned. Yeah, he's still talking about that movie.
Believe me,
he loves it. He loves it. He loves it. It's a great movie. It's beautiful. Great soundtrack as well. Carl Hajult, 50 Swedish krona, wearing the green gold Daytona for Ireland. Another one. We have a couple of green gold
John
Daytonas
Mayers tonight.
Jesus, the heavy hitters are in the room. Wow.
That's a ridiculous watch, my friend.
Crazy.
That's an absolutely obscene watch.
Rob Morrison, one of my favorite guys.
Rob Morrison.
Emailed Oisin a link to the 2915 dial at auction next week in London. Starting bid 16k. Yeah, but it'll be at 85k in a couple of days. Like it'll, you know. Dirk, you're 1450
you are correct. 1171. He's right.
He's a 1171. Yeah.
You're very smart. Wait a second. There's a 2915 starting at 16k.
Yeah, he emailed me apparently. Let me pull up my email. But, you know, it's not going to be there long. It's going to be gone.
It's an auction. It's starting at 16. It's going to go for 150.
Oh, sorry. It's just the dial. It's no watch. It's no watch. It's just the dial.
Wow.
Okay. Well, that's
you can't get a CK2915 for less than 150 grand. You can't,
especially the Mark I. But you can imagine like the people looking for that specific dial. I mean, it just goes to show 16k beginning, like starting bid 16k just for the dial. Like that's a lot. That's more than most speedies.
But is it a tropical dial? Is it chocolatey or is it?
I'll show you right now.
Oh, you have a link for it?
Yeah, he just sent me the link.
Wow.
If I was more of a Tim Wright, I'd be on this shit. That guy's so fluent with this stuff. There you go. There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if it's not chocolatey. It's all patina.
It's old and the loom is dead, and you know, I mean,
it's got tons of like fungus on it.
Yeah, it's all fucked up. I mean, even if I had throwaway money, I wouldn't buy that. You know, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
because it's like, what's the point of it?
Just get the watch.
Just get the watch. But look at that though. I mean, you could probably call somebody in China and have them make that exactly perfect.
Yeah.
They probably sell it on AliExpress. You could probably go CK2.
Look, he changed his name back. Andrew.
Yeah.
Welcome. Back to be me for Dirk.
Yeah, that's you. Andrew W. Because I think of Andrew WK, whose music is garbage. Remember that guy,
Okay.
Andrew WK? What are you, crazy? Look at him. You're a maniac.
55 Canadian. Grab a
You're
drink.
Maniac.
All right, let's grab a drink. Are you into what Guinness are you on? I'm on my third
3.
can. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're in third big can though. Mine are half the size. Because you have the bigger cans. You got the real ones. I got the little skimpy Italian ones. Because the Italians don't know how to drink Guinness. It's too heavy for them. Unless you go into certain places in Veneto. You know, I recently had drinks. This is like totally off the cuff here. But I went to see, my daughter came back into her original town, Vicenza, where I used to live. And her mom they invited me over for the evening, you know, and I get on great with her mom. You know, after all these years, it's all good. You know, all the old shit has faded away. You know, it's great. And we get along like a house on fire. We're fantastic. But, you know, there was a lot of drinks had. And her mom just got back from Ireland. And she picked up a bottle of Crested 10. It was supposed to be for me, but we finished it that night. So I never got to bring it back home. Oh, my God, yeah. And I have to say, her mom, she got pretty plastered. I mean, beyond plastered. Now, I'm not putting her down because you have to hear the end. So I slept over there. I slept in my daughter's old room, like where she kind of grew up. And I got up in the morning early and her mom got up to head off to work and she was fucking tip top. And it was funny because later I had drank some water, I went back to bed. And I got up a few hours later and Lydia was up and we had coffee and breakfast together and a chat and we laughed about how intense things can be. You know, there are two parents in the same room for the evening and stuff like that. And I was like, by the way, your ma this morning, like, no problems at all. And she goes, Veneta, proprio Veneta, the Veneta girl from Veneto, because the Veneti, they can drink they're better drinkers than the Irish. The Veneti will just keep going. There's a t-shirt going around here in Veneto of like different drinkers. American drinkers is like a guy drinking and then a guy vomiting and a guy drinking, a guy vomiting, you know, like these things where the man's of evolution, but they do a meme on that, right? So that's the American vomit, drink, right? The Irish is drink, vomit, sleep, right? And then the Veneto is just drink across. They are unaffected. She's an absolute winner. It was incredible to see her at 7 a.m. Just get up and go, hey, I made coffee. I'm heading out to work. See you later or see you next time. I'm like, oh my God. She had 3/4 of a bottle of whiskey. No problem to her. Amazing.
How did she do that?
She's a Bolshevik at her core. She's rolling cigarettes and stuff. And I'm like,
oh, right.
Wow.
She rolls her own cigarettes.
Builds of fucking concrete. Incredible. Here we go. Kieran. $2. The whatever.
220, 10, 41, 21, 0030.
It wasn't too big for you.
That's Aquaterra. That's a 41 millimeter. No, that's not fine. I can wear 42. That's the one he had. That's the one that's not the exact one. He had the green dial one. That's the blue dial, right? 220, 10, 41, 21, 03, 001. I think that's the blue dial with the date at 6. Yeah. Yeah, no, that would work fine. It's just the head is too big. It's just personal preference. It's
they're a little thicker and a little shorter in lug. Whereas the previous one,
there's that
previous one with the Data 3, which is the one I have and the one I love.
Yeah,
it's a little wider and flatter, and it's just, and it's also asymmetrical. It's a little wider on one side, just like these speedies we're talking about. It's
Right.
kind of nice. There's a whole video on it, Kieran, if you haven't seen. I compare the Aquaterras and I get really detailed in on it. So, oh, look at that. Dr. Bob's Nightmare. Guinness and oysters. That's the way to have it. Guinness and oysters. That's the thing. Can you believe oysters used to be the food for the poor in Dublin for
Isn't
years?
that funny?
And now
And
it's
now
like
it's
a delicacy. Yeah.
it's a delicacy, and it's also an aphrodisiac, right?
Well, yeah, apparently, it gets you going. Not as much as the alcohol gets you going. Graham R, $5. Guinness
Yeah.
Extra Stout is surprisingly good for Irish people living abroad. This the Granny Guinness, as you call it. On watches, which current Speedy is the one to get? I'm interested in one. I would say look for an 861. Go on to Chrono and look for an original. Or
I mean, you can't go wrong with the other ones, but it all depends on your wrist. It all depends on what you like. You know, I mean, the Moonwatch is the Moonwatch, but it's gone through a couple of different iterations. Personally, if you can't have a 321, the one that Ush has is the Grail, because
the 861. The
861 with that bracelet.
It's the 145.002 or 022.
022, yeah. Because you just can't go wrong because of the combination. You know, cost you a couple of shekels more.
No, it's about the same money as the new ones. Yeah, because the new ones have that cash that they bring to the table the fact that they're new and they're under warranty. And the brand new ones, if you buy one from the boutique today, they have a quick release size adjustment thing in the clasp for the first time, which is great, and every watch needs that.
There you go. I didn't know that. Which one has that?
The brand new 3861 and 3863. The Sapphire Sandwich.
Well, it's got like a little half link that pops out.
It's a little thing in the clasp, a little pusher, and you just get that extra 5 millimeters on a hot day, which I think every watch should have.
Every watch should have.
Listen. Here's a watch, my most expensive watch, and it does not have it.
Yeah,
it does not have that capability. So if it's a super hot day, I can't wear this watch. I have to loosen it or take it off or change it. So come on.
Can I tell my really quick story about this guy?
You go ahead and do it, and I'll hit the restroom because, of course, I'm having Guinness now, and it's like
I'm right after you. This guy came into the bar last weekend, and he was wearing a Cellini. Now, of course, everybody in the watch world pays zero attention to Cellinis because they're the bastard child of Rolex. Well, I saw it peeking out from under his collar and under his sleeve, and I said, "Oh, hey, nice Cellini." He was an older man on the portly side, not dashing or any of these things, but very, very nice. Didn't look like he came from a lot of money, or just was a very regularly dressed guy. Was about to go on a cruise, and he seemed a little weirded out that I knew he was wearing a Cellini, and then I kind of assuaded him by saying, "Well, listen, nobody knows what a fucking Cellini is. So obviously I must know something about watches because nobody cares what that is, even though they're expensive." It was gold. It was beautiful. It was actually rose gold, and it was gorgeous. Anyway, we got to talking, and he finally realized that, I was a watch guy, and I understood the value and the better brands and the history, more than just, money. And he told me that he had a 5711, and he sold it at the height of, when they canceled it, when they discontinued it, before they came out with the new model, of course. And he sold it for $300,000. And it was meant he had never worn it. It was in the box with papers, and it was stickered. And he said he bought it because he thought he would like it, and he didn't. And then he found out it was discontinued. And the next thing you know, the guy made $300K on a Patek Philippe. Incredible. By the way, the moral to this story is the Cellini I've never seen one in the wild. I've never touched one. I've never tried one on. It was absolutely gorgeous. And you know what? I would love one of those. It's the bastard child of their lineup. It's all about steel sports for Rolex and every other brand. It was so beautiful. I couldn't believe it. The gold, the dial had this incredible shimmer to it. The hands were beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful dress watches I've ever seen in my entire life. I was just telling them, the guy who had the Cellini.
Oh yeah.
And then he sold off his 5711 for $300K. He never
At
wore
the
it.
height of the market.
At the height when they discontinued it. What's it called now? 5811? What is it called?
It's a 5811 now.
Yeah. So it was, when just continuing. He spoke. Here's the story. I'm glad you're back. He went into Patek Philippe in his hometown, and he's from like the middle of America, like some Midwestern town. I think it was St. Louis. He went into Patek Philippe on whatever their high street is, and he said, "Oh, I have a 5711." She goes, "I could sell it for you and get a lot of money." He goes, "I never wore it." She goes, "You should bring it in." So he brought it in like the next day.
Why didn't he wear it?
He said he thought it was going to suit him, and it didn't.
Okay.
Didn't like it on
That's
him.
fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's what he said. So he took it into her, and Patek Philippe took a cut, which I thought sounded unscrupulous. I don't think that should be something that they should do, but we all know what Rolex is doing now, so I guess that's par for the course. I sold it for $320K, and they took $20K off the top. And they took the $20K, and he got $300K for that 5711 stickered.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, black dial.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do it, that's how you do it. Listen, he didn't know things were going to take a downturn. They're still pretty up there. I mean, you're still talking 100K.
Yeah,
but not 300.
That went for 300K.
Yeah,
but his Cellini was the 50505, or is that a number 5? He told me the number. I don't know Cellini references. I apologize. But it was, rose gold, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen on a leather strap. It was incredibly gorgeous. Wow. And I know that
5112.
I think he said it was a 50505. Is that a reference?
Let me look it up.
5005. Anyway,
oh yeah, 5505. Yes.
Oh, 5505. They discontinued the whole Cellini line, huh? They just have the moon face.
Yes. I mean, they're not the most popular. I have photos here to pull up for people. They're not the most popular, but they will be if they could always gain traction. And when they start disappearing, they become collector's items. This is the 5505. I mean, come on, like, this is stupidly gorgeous. Was it white dial? Is that what he had?
No,
rose gold or yellow
rose gold.
Full rose? Was it this one?
It was no. It was a white dial.
It was a white dial.
But it didn't look like that though.
That's a rose with white dial.
It didn't have Roman numerals on it.
Okay.
Is there one that doesn't?
Perhaps, yeah.
Oh, that's it. That's it right there.
This one here.
It was so beautiful. Wow. And like that fluting and stuff it was on a beautiful leather strap. It was gorgeous. And I was like, oh, that's a nice Cellini. And he gave me the dirtiest look, like,
why?
I don't know. I think he was just a little taken aback that, like,
you knew the watch,
that somebody knew he had something very pricey on his wrist. And then I, tried to throw out as much knowledge as I have, so he felt comfortable that I understood the watch world. And I said to him, I told the listeners before, I said, listen, pal, nobody gives a fuck about Cellinis. I mean, it's miraculous that anybody knows what's under your cuff.
Yeah, like, I'm not telling my friends to rob you on your way home. Maybe that's the big fear. Like, people don't want you to spot the watch because they're afraid.
Maybe that's why he had it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, listen, man, to be honest with you, it's not a Calatrava. It's not.
That's the problem with Cellini, because in the price range from the AD, at least, you're in Calatrava range. And why would you ever consider this above a Calatrava? You wouldn't.
mean, these pictures are not doing this. This watch was fucking beautiful.
Pictures never do it, man. They never do it.
It was so glittery and beautiful, and I mean, I feel like those are old, and it was a modern.
How about this
iteration.
one? This is a bit nicer, but more
That's
natural.
it. Well, it didn't have
that's
Roman
no,
numerals
it's
on it.
Romans.
Didn't.
Yeah,
But it was that beautiful luster of the rose gold, and
sure.
the strap was so impressive.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, it was really impressive. Anyway, I've never seen a Cellini in the wild in my life. I've never handled one, never touched it. He let me try it on. It was absolutely ridiculous. I was like, wow, I have a totally different opinion about that, you know? But, you know, and I said to him, I said, man, I'm an Omega guy, and this is really sexy.
Barack Obama wears a Cellini.
He does wear a Cellini. Yeah. I mean, I love the Calatrava. I mean, if I had stupid money and I wanted a dress watch, I would absolutely get a Calatrava.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the ultimate of dress watch. Yeah,
or maybe I'd stay brand loyal and get a Tresor.
A Tresor.
Those are for ladies.
You don't have to be brand loyal. Every time I see a faded Pepsi in the window of some place, I see a Pepsi that like the red has turned to pink and the blue has turned to pastel blue. I think of you, man. I saw one earlier today.
I get weak in the knees when I see really old Pepsis. It's ever since that guy.
The ones that go pinky
and purple, slightly purple.
Yeah.
I met a guy. I've said this on the iBashers a long time ago.
Good point, Rob Morrison. Good point.
Yeah, 20 question. I guess it's worth a piece of mine. I guess that's true. This old man had a Pepsi on, and I said, "Oh wow," and he didn't have any idea what it was, and it was pink and purple. It had faded, and I said, "You wear that every day?" He goes, "I've been wearing this on my wrist since 1970." I went, "Oh." When you die, and he was an old queen too. I should have married him for the watch. just on the grass. So I married him on the grass.
You know, I'm thinking about like this kind of thing. I'll show you. This is the thing. When I see this kind of thing in the wild, I think of you. For Rolex, I think of you for two reasons. One is you love these. Also, no, not the milk house. We're staying on the same subject, but because of the aviation thing, the Pan Am thing that you have.
Oh yeah, GMT Master. Yeah, of course.
You know that whole. Yeah, that whole connection, you know, you love aviation, you love the old airports, the whole old thing with, you know, ships and old boats from the 50s and 60s and all that.
We just ate at TWA 2 weeks ago. It was great.
Oh, you did?
I'm probably going to go back Sunday night because my friend Mimi's in town and she wants to experience it, and everybody should because it's Jean-Georges, but it's a kind of a patisserie. It's more like a bistro, so it's not that bad.
In the airport?
In the terminal, the TWA terminal is a full-on hotel.
Wow,
you've been gone too long. Wait till you come to New York. Check into that hotel for one night, and I'll get a room too. And so they took the TWA, the Aero Sarin. God bless you. They took the Aero Sarin, and if you guys don't know what that is, the TWA airline terminal at Kennedy Airport is landmarked, and it's the Aero Sarin terminal. It's mid-century modern. It was built for 747s. So defunct airline. It's now a hotel. They built two new flanking rectangles as the hotel. Beautifully appointed rooms. I stayed there overnight. It's amazing. But the actual big flight wing is public spaces, restaurants, bars, and it's amazing. You lose your shit.
But you're out there and
look at that. Oh man, I would kill for one of those. Look at that thing. Oh, fuck all this ceramic nonsense. Look at that.
Isn't that beautiful? The way it's all faded, so gorgeous. I mean, even if they tried their hardest, they wouldn't be able to recreate that. And God knows Omega tried to do it with the faux patina and the yellow look in this season. But it's not going to do the same thing. Look.
Question: yes. Did this watch ever come in a gilt dial iteration?
Gilt, never gilt. Only yellow gold later. There's the the black and gold GMTs that are stunning, but they're gold. It's never gilt.
What about
Gilt.
so the Rolex gilt dials were what? Just subs? That's it.
That's
all
it.
they ever
The
had?
earliest of early.
Yeah.
And then they went solid. It's all about oxidation. They want to keep those hands from dying. You would kill one of these things.
Oh.
Now I'm looking at this hotel.
You don't. Surely you knew about this.
I know about it, but I didn't know there was a Jean Georges. I didn't know there was a Jean Georges in there. Like
it's Jean Georges pizza, hamburgers, steaks. It's not dinner for four. Look, that's the rooms and frette linens. By the way, frette linens. That's a basic room right on the fucking tarmac. Look at that.
That's crazy.
Isn't that right up there? Just sit in the window and jerk off.
I would just sit. I would sit in that chair and jerk off to that amazing shit. Like
all the magazines are like from the 50s and 60s.
You know what I need though on that phone? Look, there's an old phone.
And it works.
You know what I need on the phone? I need a direct link to the tower because I need to know what they're telling them as they come in and go out.
You could just go on your computer for that. But yeah, so that's the pool, which is 24/7, 365. It's heated to 85 degrees. So you can sit on the tarmac and splash around in the pool while you're watching planes take off. Look, there's a Singapore.
You better take off your GOT Master though. Your 1961 GOT
take that off.
Master. Take it fucking off. All right.
Don't wear that. Don't wear
Singapore. That's
A380.
That's A380, of course.
Yeah. So it's
what's that? That's a Virgin. That's a 767, and that's another 767. Correct.
No, over there that is another A380. That's an Emirates A380.
Oh, that's an Emirates.
Yeah, look at the big ugly eyebrows on that thing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And it's got a big.
It's hard
forehead.
for me to tell.
It's got a Scandinavian forehead.
Yeah,
right?
It's got a big forehead.
Those big, huge foreheads. Yeah. And what's here?
Virgin, I'm going to say that's probably an A320 because it looks small and it doesn't have winglets, so it's not a 767. I mean, it's hard to tell from that. Everything about this. Look at this. You got the Pavimento Veneziani. Look at that.
Veneziano. That's what I have throughout my entire apartment.
Yeah.
Veneziano.
Yeah. That's it.
And like Hollywood bulbs. Yeah.
Sure. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's
like
really,
Marilyn Monroe, and look at the bar with the
every room has booze, glasses, martini glasses. This is that's the room that looks like the room we stayed in. It was just like that. Everything's leather and dark woods, beautifully appointed, and the frette sheets. Go to the restaurants. Go
like going back. You have to be Don Draper to.
It's Don Draper. Yeah, it's all Don Draper. The whole place is.
Like if I'm not wearing a $5,000 suit, I can't check into this
Don
hotel.
Draper suit probably cost $150, and it was probably by Botany $500 back then. Yeah. That's if those tubes go. Those were the flight wings that went on either side. That went to your gates, which of course there's no more gates, but that goes directly to JetBlue now. So you can stay at JetBlue, walk through these, and check in.
This reminds me of Catch Me If You Can, one of the final scenes.
That's where
he's like, "No one's chasing you. No one's chasing you, man.
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah,
go, Frank. No one's chasing you. See you Monday morning, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Monday morning. He has
Monday morning.
Monday morning. I'll see you Monday morning, Frank." This is
that's
amazing.
the bar, and then the restaurants are up on the top. That's that's where you used to watch the flights. It's free parking, and Paul shows his TWA ID, and that's the Constellation that's sitting behind the structure, in between that and the roadway for JetBlue, and that's a cocktail lounge.
Oh my god!
So you go on that for cocktails.
I love this, man. Oh, there
that's
it
a cocktail lounge. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. You go there for mimosa or whatever. That you can see in there through the windows all the different restaurants. So Jean Georges, there's the Lisbon Lounge and the Paris Cafe, and then there's a couple of other like little ancillary bars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Satellite things, and then there's museum. There's the TW Museum. Then there's the gift shop, and there's a lot of different things. See,
Listen,
there's the museum.
I guess if you have a layover for a day or something,
Perfect for you. Yeah.
yeah, because otherwise it's like you're
I mean,
I don't know, an hour from the city, really.
you are, but like it's a city within a city. If you meet up with friends, yeah, here's the like little. Now there's a concierge and stuff there, but this is more like a lounge to hang out. They've done more with this. This is a original early shot. But like they have old cars and things on display, museum pieces. But if you stay there, there's the bars, there's the restaurants, there's the gym, there's so many things to do. Look at this crazy pool that's just sitting on the roof.
You can see the steam going off it,
Yeah,
like it's because it's all heated.
And there's a bar right there.
You're right. There's JetBlue. Look.
Yeah, JetBlue's right there.
Have you ever flown JetBlue?
I've flown JetBlue. I just flew JetBlue to a wedding in San Diego, and we ran out of gas.
Oh, because you had to do a few runarounds?
We were circling over
like
in the Gobi Desert forever.
Because of weather. Okay.
And Paul goes to me, hey, this is an A321. What kind of fuel capacity does this plane have? I said, not much more. 2 seconds later.
Yeah, the range.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be landing in Las Vegas in about 10 minutes. We seem to have run out of fuel. Thank you for your participation, and we'll get back to you in a couple of seconds.
Well, it has a certain range, and that's that. Yeah. You know, when we flew to Hawaii, the band flew to Hawaii years ago with Continental. It was New York to Hawaii to Waikiki or wherever. And the range, I was telling the guys, they got a little scared. I was trying to tell the guys from the band, like the range of this plane is only about, 600 miles more than where we have to land. Because normally you fly to LA or San Francisco or somewhere, and then you change, or they refuel, or you change or whatever, and then you keep going. But when you have that 10-hour difference and you're going across all those timelines, you need serious range. And we were on a Continental, I don't know, it was a 757 or something, whatever it was.
It's probably 76, 757.
67. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? If there's bad weather, we better get the parachutes, fellas, because this thing is running out of fuel.
Continental, I've never been to Hawaii. I've always wanted to go. But when I was a kid, it was 747s, DC-10s, L-1011s, planes that had amazing fuel capacities. The same trip, we're on our way back, bad weather, horrific weather. Yeah. We are over Jamaica Bay, and I've got FlightAware on my phone. We were circling over Jamaica Bay in a torrential rainstorm, and I was looking at our altitude, and it said we were 45 feet above sea level while we were circling. We were 45 feet above Jamaica Bay. And for a minute, I went,
what?
Oh, shit. Yeah, we were 45 feet above.
No, that's not.
It was a full circle. It was 45. And I saw the water, and I was like, what the fuck?
No, that's approach. That's approach. You can't.
It was approach that missed approach. And he didn't gain a lot of altitude because the weather was so bad. So we actually did a full spin around, a full turnaround at 45 feet above, where that's what it said on FlightAware. I would say no more than 100 feet above sea level. It was crazy. That's the restaurant. Tulip chairs, Aerosarin and tulip chairs. There's a museum for all the uniforms, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, that's cute. That's really cute.
It's fun to watch because, you only go do that after you've been drinking, which we always do. And you go, this is great. And that's the food. It's pub fare. It's like fancy pub fare. Pizzas, burgers, steaks.
This is a fine dining burger with rucola.
Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah. San Pellegrino. I don't know where that is. I've never seen that. What is that? Oh, that's the indoor. I've never been in that. Yeah. It's
wow. Great. This is really cool. I got to stay there. I do.
Yeah. Yeah, little free snacks, Caesar salad. There's a road. That's not part of it.
All right, now we're just into shitty photos. Okay, forget.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I gotta go there. Absolutely,
it's amazing. You'll love it. Have a couple of drinks. You check in there. I'll check in there too.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll get rooms there. We'll just have a stupid night. We'll just be dum-dums.
Rob Morrison, great
You
story.
talk to.
Cellini
I gotta
seemed
go
to
have
be
a Guinness pee.
go do a Guinness thing. That's the thing about Guinness, guys. It pushes on the valves quite heavily. Rob Morrison, Cellini seem to be underappreciated. Isn't it great to have Dirk back, guys? Now that he's stepped out for a minute, can I just have a private word? Isn't it so fucking great to have this guy back, man? God. Oh, I've been so let down by other YouTubers recently. My God, I don't want to talk about it, but it's bloody sad. It would drive a man to drink. Only he already drinks, so it's great to have real people back in here in the space. Love it. Love all of you guys as well. Happy Paddy's Day, as always. Banachtina Fela, Porig, or Reeve, of course. To all of you. Fulcha, Macarda. Watch Lady says, I have a Pepsi Fuchsia in 1968. Of course you do. Of course you do. You know, if we lived closer to one another, Watch Lady, I would, come over, pick up watches and shoot the shit out of them. Come live in Venice. I'll shoot the hell out of your watches and you'll get to live in Venice, which is, kind of a dream. Rob Morrison, $5. You're killing me with the 1675 talk. Well, yes, with the faded Pepsi, yeah. And look, you missed this old watch lady. She has one from 1968. Maybe she needs
Do you need an escort?
Yeah.
Dude, I just felt like Tom Hanks in A League of Their Own. I hate beer. It makes you have to pee. That's the one problem with beer.
I don't drink beer ever, but I'm doing it tonight because of
me neither.
Ireland and the Guinness and
We're
the
not
whole thing.
Beer people.
We're not beer people at all, ever.
Unless it's 1,000 degrees and I'm on Murano.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a Gilt 1675. They're beautiful. Look, you're right. You're right. You see?
That was what I fantasized about, like a Gilt 1675, because that I was thinking in my brain, either I saw one or I just masturbated towards it because I thought it was just the most beautiful thing. Because I love those Rolex Gilt dials. Oh man, are those sexy? Oh,
and once you fall in love with these pieces, you look at the new stuff and you go,
yeah,
bleh,
it's
bleh.
crass.
Yeah,
it's crass.
Like,
it's gummy. Like the
loud
is
and
gummy.
It's stark and it's jarring, and it doesn't have the it doesn't have the vibe. This is one reason I love this is my 1993
bluesy, gold
bluesy. Let me just give people something to look at for a minute. My bluesy, recently back from Rolex service.
Wow.
Now, do you see any purple in there?
Yeah, I do on TV. Yeah, I do.
Is there a little purple?
They didn't change the bezel, right? What did they change on it?
Anything.
Nothing.
They changed the crown. There's a new crown.
Okay.
And they added a link that was missing.
Oh, very nice.
But come on, camera. There you go.
No, that's beautiful. Yeah, I see purple.
You see a little purple?
I do.
Because I'm not a fan of the purple look, but I know that they fetch a lot of money, so that's always the consolation prize. Well, it's like, but yeah, it's like that other side of the argument. Any more super chats coming in? Oh man, I gotta pay Emmett because Emmett played all the music for the SWAT show.
Oh, so I heard the music on that. It was really good.
Yeah, it was really cool. And my SWAT show is like fucking barely got its nose above water now. Everybody fucking jumped ship.
What do you mean?
They're gone. Alex is gone.
What do you mean Alex is gone?
He fucking jumped ship. Just one was Sunday. I got a text. We got to step away.
I thought he was the beefier workout version of me.
Yeah. No, man. It's super depressing.
Oh
What
no!
happened here? Yeah, it's gone. It's
So he's done from the show.
Yeah. He answers to cartel. He answers to cartel. There's cartel that are just, they have their business things, and unfortunately I'm a wild card in the pack because of everything that happened last year. I'm like, oh, fuck all you fuckers, you're all shitbags, And they're like, no, don't say that. We have business deals and we have things arranged.
Oh.
So D jumped first, and I got a telling off by that guy.
A telling off?
Oh yeah, I got reprimanded. You'd be proud of me. I didn't say a thing. I was all nice. He's lucky I didn't have a bottle of wine in me. But like, fuck you.
You were told off for what?
For calling out. It was a Spencer thing. It's all to do with Spencer BQ watches. They have a little business deal going on, and they don't want that disrupted. And I told a little truth, and they were like, shut the hell up. So D fucking ran like a hot snot. And fucking Alex followed suit. Like, I don't want any drama. I'm like, this is a non-drama channel. There's no drama on SWAT. This is pure watch talk.
You're not in that world at all.
I am, but on the outside, not in that show.
You're not in their circle, yeah.
No, I'm outside their circle. Oh. But yeah, he dumped me, and like in the most sick way, just like a little fucking text one morning. I'm like, Jesus! I put the whole show together. I made the whole intro and the whole. I
saw it.
Yeah, I paid Emmett for the music. He did amazing music for it. I paid for the podcast. I put it out on Spotify and Amazon and all iHeart Music and everything. These guys didn't have to do a thing. They just had to sit there and answer fucking questions with me. And then they fucking dumped me. Kidding me?
Why though?
Because they don't want to be.
What was the crime?
Because the crime was, I'm going to tell the truth about what's going on in the cartel world of watches. So, Spencer is one of those guys, albeit kind of peripheral to all the main offenders and the criminals, you might call them, in the center. He's a little bit peripheral, but he's still kind of one of the pecking order, and certainly walked away from me in my moment of desperation last year, exactly this time last year, as a matter of fact. And I'm not going to hold back on that. And they don't want to know. They're like, business as usual. Let's keep going. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but like, I get to say what I want, because I didn't get to nearly 50 years old and have to be muzzled by this bullshit. But I think Alex got orders from his superiors. Shut the fuck up, walk away from that dude, and that was it. So I got a text instead of a phone call and like, let's talk. No, I just got a text, and he ran. And now he's like, people are asking him, why did you walk away? And he's making up all bullshit about like, oh, I don't have the time. And it's fucking pathetic. Fucking sad. I spoke to Tim earlier this evening. What?
What? Like, is he answers to those guys?
Yeah, he does. Unfortunately, yeah. There's a lot of fear in the watch world. There's a shitload of fear. Guys who they have certain jobs and they have certain alliances. It's just a lot of fear, and they're terrified of disrupting the status quo. They just are. There's been a lot of that shit going around lately. I spoke to Tim, called me earlier, and he was just so he wasn't crying on the phone, but he was nearly like, I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. Like, even this guy is like, it's just everybody turns out to be a shithead. It's unbelievable. Turns out Alex is like giving money to watch Nicholas, like the biggest of all of the drama channels. Meanwhile, I got reprimanded for having anything to do with a drama channel and a chat channel. But this guy's giving money to donating and goes on his channel, and everyone's just going like, what is happening? Like, even like Alex, I love, like, he was one of the few guys I trusted in. Fucking walked. I'm like, great. Well, good for you. You just missed out on an opportunity. Most of the SWAT episodes were getting 20, 25,000 views. That's amazing for a live stream. You know, regular content, you're talking 50,000 views on my channel at least. But, you know, a live stream, you know, I don't know. This one will probably get a lot of views because you're back and it's St. Paddy's, but I don't know. Like,
yeah, I saw it. Well, you know what? Well, I'm glad he left because I was a little jealous. I was like, oh, fuck, look. There's the big muscly version of me, but he knows he's a watchmaker. And I went, ooh, fancy intro. Ooh, good music. And I figured
it was pure watch talk.
No, I know.
It's not like me
I
and
totally
you.
got it. And it was on Saturday
we
night.
shoot the shit, me and you. We just talked about the hotel there in JFK. But like, you know, Alex says would have a fucking clue how to talk about that stuff. But you know, he knows a shitload about the inside of a watch, and it was great to pick his brain. And it was really kind of for him more than anything, really, because it was more about like, because we've been talking for so long, me and him, about doing something together and doing something real. And he's so outside that bunch. He hates all of that bunch, and he's very, very cynical. But in the end, he got the tap on the shoulder, and he fucking followed orders. It's so sobering, man. I've been walking around it in a daze for the past 2 weeks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been a rough time, man.
Because I even mentioned when you mentioned to me, you sent me a text message saying, "Hey, people are wondering about eye bashes." I'm like, "Yeah, well, when do you want to do it? After SWAT?" Because I was watching SWAT and I was enjoying it.
No, I'm gonna keep doing SWAT, but I've got to do it in the news. I've got to just guest people.
Yeah.
But as Nathaniel said to me, I was speaking to him also, he's like, now you've got to worry about getting a different guy every week, someone interesting, and, you know, keeping that momentum up.
That's not a problem.
As if you don't, well, it's not a problem in the sense, yeah, okay. But I also have a lot of other shit on my plate. I have to continue the channel. But
did you set up a whole separate channel for SWAT?
Yeah, there's a whole channel made. There's a podcast. There's the intros. There's the outros. There's the mid music.
I saw it
put together. Meanwhile, the guy goes back to doing his own stuff, like with 8 viewers. Like I can't believe. Don't get me started.
Fixing, repairing watches for that whole cartel? Is that what
he's doing? That might be something to do with it. Yeah, it might be that connection. It might be.
It's his bottom line, and he's a newly married young father, right?
Yeah, he's 40, and yeah, he's looking at the bottom line. And you know what it is? What it comes down to is, I mean, the guy is on the phone to me every day talking about this guy did this, and I know all of it because he knows a lot about the infrastructure and everything that goes on behind the scenes. But the truth is, he won't come out public with it because it's a lot of fear.
He can't.
Shitload of fear.
Well, I say fuck all those guys.
You know, me and Tim were talking about it earlier. It's like an ecosystem. You got to just separate yourself from that ecosystem because they're all connected. It's like a fucking web. And if you get entangled in it, you know, God help you.
How do you get entangled in it, though? Because you're buying and selling?
No, but I got entangled because
you didn't mean to, though. You did.
I didn't mean to, but I got dragged in by the Paul Thorpe thing.
Yeah.
You know, come to the London Watch Show. Next thing I find myself surrounded by all these dealers.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh, my life is taking a
weird Diamond left District turn in New York.
Exactly, it's that, and you're just, you know, I was in a cab with Paul sitting to my left, Roman opposite me. Watch Eric, the guy from Miami, who I liked as a person. He was nice to talk to and so on. And Paul looks at me and goes, you know, how many people would pay to be a fly in the wall in this cab ride? Because we're all chatting kind of intimately, you might say, you know, behind the scenes. And I didn't say it to Paul, but I thought to myself, if that fly was on the wall, he'd fucking vomit because it's just fucking trader shit. It's just,
well, he thinks very highly of himself in that regard. That was a very ego-centric move to say something like that. Imagine, you know, for like a fly would love to hear us talking about all the money we're making off of watches. That's a scumbag move. That's just, you know what? Once the money, okay, you love watches. You love watches. I love watches. Those guys sell watches. They might love them because they love the money behind the watches. I don't know how much they love about the money.
They find themselves Yeah, Alex definitely. He's a
loves it.
true, he's truly into it.
Yeah.
Because that's his profession, getting inside the watches. I think these guys are very impressed by the whole business thing. They think it's fascinating.
It's easy money too.
Yeah, it's the whole
Very
trader thing. It's just, and I'm like, okay, that is kind of sometimes interesting, but it's like not what we're here for. It's on the sidelines, but for them, it's the center. Or whatever.
Weren't they all sucking that guy from Florida's dick too?
They were for a long time until it came out that he was
people.
gay, or he was, he was
he's doing gay porn.
They all ran away.
But meanwhile, that guy's like, I did time. I like dick, blah, blah, all the thing. All of a sudden, he's not cool. But meanwhile, anybody with any kind of sense of anything in the world would have smelled that guy instantly, as we did. And then, like,
you did.
I knew instantly that guy was a shady cunt.
You saw it immediately, and you said it to me.
He's a shyster. You could just his smooth bullshit. I knew his cinder block through his what do you have, a R8, his Audi R8. I knew that this was all staged bollocks. I knew it, but they all bought into it because he's not a bright guy. However, he's bright enough to turn a dollar. Some of the dumbest people I know in the world, I'm the non-intellectual people, badly read. They make a lot of money because they know how to do street deals. These are street thugs doing street deals. Yeah. So it's not about the orology, and it's not about, like getting a hard on from a Pepsi dial. It's getting a hard on from what's selling the most right now. And can I get one and flip it? And not that there's anything wrong with that.
Sure.
However, you have to understand that those kind of people are a certain kind of people. And, they're probably not the type of people that you want to hang out with because they just want to sell stuff.
Right.
I've never sold a thing in my life. Anything I've ever bought, collected musical instruments, watches, anything I've ever had, I've never flipped anything. I mean, I did sell like a set of carbon fiber rims I had from one of my mountain bikes years and years ago when I was really heavily into mountain bikes, and they don't make them anymore. And I'm beside myself that I did it. But you know what? I couldn't afford to pay my rent. And this was like 25 years ago. So I sold them, and they were mint. And I sold them. They were like $500 or $750 each. I sold them for like $200 for the pair because I needed to pay my rent. Yeah. And I regret it. And these are guys that just want to flip shit. You know what? Listen. You get a couple of bucks, God bless. You get a couple of bucks. Like if somebody gave me a check for $50,000 right now for some job that I did, the first thing I do is go find I would go buy a couple of Rolexes and flip them. Because because now I know that's how they all make their money. That's how I know. They just flip them. They just flip shit. And I don't think
somehow they manage to mesh themselves with true aficionados, people who are truly into the passion. They manage to kind of weave themselves into that. And now like people are going, oh, I like watching Adrian Barker and Oisin O'Malley for this and Jenny L. And then I like watching Roman because he flipped that thing. And they're kind of, it's all like, we're all supposed to be a big happy family. We ain't.
Hey, cashiers know about till everybody who has a specialized job knows a shitload about what they do. Contracting. Do you think that he's passionate about contracting? Do you think that guy's passionate about being an electrician? Do you think that guy's passionate about whatever his vocation is? No, they're not. They're in it for the money. People have jobs because they like to make money. Collectors and people who collect things generally don't flip them. They're not collectors or aficionados. They're businessmen.
Listen, I did my fair share of flipping, as you know.
Yeah, but
probably to a crazy level,
there, O'Malley, because you never did it in a like. I've been aware of all your whatever flips you've done, and they've always been like things that came your way that were,
Not you're talking about computers.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about computers. I'm talking about the watches that I know you flipped a couple of watches, but it's never been like you've always acquired watches because you love them. And then like sometimes a deal comes by that you just can't say no to. I get that. Listen.
Or you're sick of the watch and you just want to move into something else. And
that's
you're like,
computer shit. Computers aren't worth anything.
I know, but what I'm saying is, of my history of doing that stuff for 20 years with the computers. So I've been around the block a fair few times, and I've dealt with
but
those kind of characters. It's
I'm
not
really
like
in love with this 2012 MacBook Pro.
I have to hang on to it because
I got to keep it.
Old operating. It's patina on the old operating system.
It's got Tiger on it.
At least we don't have that problem in the computer world. But you saw like the stuff, that I, know this kind of beast pretty well. Anyway, like it's so funny because I thought I was kind of getting out of that world, and I got heavier into it.
Didn't know.
These guys will just sell their mom the second they get an offer. It's fucking crazy. But anyway,
not their mom, their sister.
Business. It's their business and so on. But like as you said earlier in the show, like you think these people are your mates, all of a sudden they're new mates, but you don't know them. And when push comes to shove, they'll just fucking walk. But they will walk so fast and so hard. All right, there's no camaraderie or anything. It's fucking terrible.
I think I said to you a couple of weeks ago, I went, now you know.
There you go.
Because
yeah.
You know what? I've met people in this world that I thought that I really liked, and they're going to be, we're going to be friends, and then you see them for who they really are, and that's always a disappointment. I guess, listen, I mean, I don't have very much experience with dating because I've only really ever dated once, but I would be miserable if I had to do that, because like meeting people and getting to know them, and I love people and I love hearing your story. I love a raconteur. I love all that. But like when you want to when you're almost like looking for a friend or looking for a relationship, I can't even imagine how shitty that must be. It's like, I mean, if Paul dropped dead tomorrow, I'd be like, that would be the end of me. I'd be like, I have a cat and I would never want to meet another person ever again. Why would I want to do that? There's porn on the internet. I don't need that shit.
Exactly. Yeah, totally.
I don't
Des
need
Ferris. Gents, Brandon, that's Des's son, who's, I believe, 15 or 16 years old. Brandon wishes you both happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you.
As his mom and I do also. Thank you so much, Des, for the 10 pounds. Thank you. That's very, very nice. Yeah, man, it's been a weird few weeks. Let's face it, it's been a weird year. Tracing back to exactly this time last year.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Let's get something new happening. Let's get something fabulous and new happening.
Yeah, I was saying to Tim, Tim was saying to me earlier this evening, he's like, we need to get out of this. We need to kind of set ourselves aside from this milieu, this particular circle of folks that are all, caught in the same exact web. They're all controlled by one another. I had this big confrontation with Paul bloody weeks ago.
I saw some of it.
Yeah, and it's like he's
I don't know why you bothered.
And I know. He's so connected. But I had to get all that shit. I guess it all came out. I honestly came on because of all those victims of that guy ripping people off money. But then Paul turned it into me versus him, and then it went the way it went. But it was like, I realized I was caught in that fucking circle or whatever. It's just not good stuff. Oh, there's a great one. You know what, Rob? Thank you for bringing that up, because my late uncle, who passed away last year, around this time last year, a little later than this time last year, he also made that quote as well. It's kind of true. It can be true. It's unfortunate. And when you find good people, you want to hold on to them. You do. So yeah, there it is. It's okay. It's all right.
Now you know.
Now I know.
There's a thing I want to mention to Kleiner Hund, because it's relevant to where you are. He wrote, I would love a vintage Olivetti PC. Definitely patina on that. But she lives 5 minutes away from the Olivetti Museum. Yeah. And I kid you not, it's in Piazza San Marco, and we've been there. And it was great. Typewriters, computers, all the Olivetti stuff. Do yourself a favor, because if you haven't seen Venice and die, as they say. But before you die, go to the Olivetti Museum. It was fantastic.
It's right there. And it's Carlos Scarpa.
That's right.
Carlos Scarpa designed the inside. Yeah.
Correct. And it's really cool. I love that you said that. Very cool. Anyway, that's my gist on it all. But I'm bum. Psst. I'm on coffee now because I ran out of Guinness and I had 3 and I peed like Tom Hanks in A League of Their Own.
I did too, actually. That's what Guinness does to you, man.
It took 8 years for me to just pee.
It goes through you.
I'm not a beer guy, but I didn't get even remotely buzzed off of it either.
It won't make you that buzzed. If you get a pint at the bar, it'll get you a little buzzed. But as I always do, I follow it with a little chaser. There's my little chaser there.
These are 14.9. I had 3 of them though.
They're 14. Mine are 33.
33 milliliters.
Centiliters.
I didn't know that was a word. Centiliter.
Yeah. Well, we have the metric system here. Well, of course, milliliter is too, but they use centiliters. Like when you get a like this bottle is 75, not 750. It's
75.
Yeah.
Centiliters?
Centiliters.
I honestly, I swear to God, I've never
annoying.
Heard that word
It's a little annoying, I have to say.
Millimeters, centimeters, liters. I never heard centiliter. Wow. I've never heard that before. These are just under a pint. I had 3 of them and I knocked them back in short order.
You went through them, man.
Yeah, because that's the problem with beer. I drink it super fast. Super fast. I'm a beverage guzzler. Unless it's wine or a spritz. I'll savor my spritzes.
So how's life in New York lately? I'm beginning to miss it a little.
Yeah. We are in the beginning conversation of okay, let's get the fuck out of here. Like we've always talked about it, but we're in the beginning stages of like, okay, how do we really get the fuck out of here?
What's the destination? Possible destination? Fano,
yeah, Italy,
yeah.
That is it. And maybe it's not. Maybe it's 6 months here, 6 months there.
Right.
Maybe whatever's going to work. It's going to require a couple of new dance moves, this, that, or the other. But it's time to start really thinking about it. My parents are gone now. Paul's dealing with his mom. I have Rose. I have a couple of people. But, it's time to start thinking about New York. I won't miss it. I might want to come back for the pizza or, I mean, because
you won't miss the pizza if you go to
no, but it's different pizza, and I'm like Fano doesn't have the best pizza in the world, but I like Roman pizza better than Neapolitan style pizza. I like Roman pizza a lot. It's very thin and crispy. But I mean, I don't really know what New York has anymore that I love. I don't know. I mean, if I lived in Italy, then the people I love will come to me, won't they? Because who doesn't want to come to Italy? And then we'll just get on the train or jump on the 4 and come visit you, and then we'll go to Grado or Trieste or whatever,
It was funny because I was making this video. I'm still in the middle of making this video about timekeeping and the discoveries, the breakthroughs and how to, measure time accurately. And I keep going through the crystals, through quartz and into atomic clocks and so on. But of course, I'm talking about Galileo Galilei, and he's standing in Pisa and he's in the fucking that open area kind of church there, and there's a strong breeze and it pushes the chandelier, a big long chandelier above his head, and he watches the swing of it go back and forth, and he begins to recognize a little pattern. And that was the beginning. That was like he was just touching. He was about to change the world with that observation. And I'm there like describing it, and I'm pulling up videos off of YouTube and editing them and so on. I was thinking like, hold on, Pisa? How far away is Pisa? I could go myself. So I look up like trains as 2 trains. I could be there like 2.5 hours. I could be in Pisa.
Sure.
I just filmed this shit myself. Anybody who's interested in having a little Monte Cristo, just moving over. I had a Partagas numero, what was it? The Serie D numero 4, numero 4. But this was a little tiny fella from Monte Cristo. Just, just because people want to know what's going on. Cuban cigars are so cheap here, so affordable. Anyway, I thought to myself, shit, why don't I just go to Pisa? There are so many like science channels who talk about this stuff, and the concept of going all the way to Pisa to shoot the thing is, out of range, so they have to create animations. Whereas I'm fucking here, I'll be there. Yeah.
That's just north of Florence.
Exactly. So the train goes from here to Florence, and then I catch a smaller train over. Yeah. You
have a great Sagafredo on the way there. Boom.
Oh my God. They'll because I'll get Italo. I'll get first class Italo.
Yeah. They'll probably have an Ely bar, walk up Ely bar. And you get like a, mocha macchiato. Fucking just stare at this countryside. That sounds.
But perfect. I have my pendulum. Look, I bought my pendulum for the illustrations about isochronism. Look, I have my pendulum here.
Incredible.
Like, yeah. So I was swinging this thing around the streets of Venice, but I'm thinking like I need to bring this thing to I need to bring this thing to Pisa and just like show people where this all started, where it all began. I mean, these guys they figured out. Yeah, they figured out that oscillation is the beginning of timekeeping. It's crazy, but yeah, no, it's a good country. It's great to live in. Listen, right now it's fascist government. Meloni, she's in power.
Yeah, she won't be around that much longer.
That's what people are saying.
Yeah, it can never stick. It can never stick. She's got Berlusconi backing her, though, right?
Yeah, she has all that money behind her. Yeah,
I just don't think. I think she'll be out soon. In New York City, I'm not going to get into this, guys. Don't worry about it. But it looks like Donald Trump is going to be indicted for a bunch of shit this week.
Yeah, it always looks like that.
No, but like the DA, the Southern District, has got a bunch of stuff they're about to throw it at him. We'll see. I don't want to start a fucking maelstrom, my friends, because we don't get into that shit because it's pointless. Because you know what? They all suck.
Right.
They all suck. You know what? Put on Dark Side of the Moon and forget about it.
They can't anymore because that guy's persona non grata now. By the way, he's making a new version. Have you heard?
Stop. Yeah, he should.
Roger.
Listen, I am so not on Roger's side right now. I think he's a deadbeat.
He's being petty.
He's being petty since he made fun of Bono. And like, Bono actually goes out and does shit. You don't do anything. You just whine and cry and complain. Now you're going to go and redo Dark Side of the Moon by yourself. What, with your band? Don't do that. Stop it. Don't do that. My God. Why would you do that? Nobody wants a new. I don't want anybody's new. Listen, even if like you put out a record that was great, but it didn't have a great mix, I still don't want to hear the remix because that's the one I loved.
We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear a remake of
the
greatest selling album in history. We don't.
No, it's stupid.
For the same reason we don't want George Lucas to remake the old Star Wars or put computer graphics into them. We don't want to hear. We don't want to see it.
And who shot first? And don't change.
They changed. Yeah, Greedo. Oh no, that killed everything. Greedo shot first. No. Licari is saying Meloni is hot like a concentration camp guard. Yeah, she's tough, man. Meloni she's got the deep Italian voice, the female voice. You know who's an up and coming great new politician? I spoke to her actually several times in the past few weeks. Is Anita Lekmita. There now, if you want hot, go look for her. Anita is unbelievable. She's an ex-model, but she's also politically inclined. She's great. She's wonderful. That's the new face of politics. I give her 5 years before she's like a big wig here. Also, the Italians can't keep their eyes off a hot woman, you know, the usual shit. So she's using that for her angle, probably. But you know, Cicciolina did it to the nth degree.
Sure. Yeah. I am here for the government and also my pussy.
Yeah.
She was a porn star and a politician.
If you vote for me, you can massage my nipples on the streets of Rome.
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
That was 20 years ago, man. 25
if not more. Yeah.
This was before OnlyFans and all of that shit. Any of that. She was so ahead of her time. It's incredible that she was able to what she did. It's amazing.
Cicciolina. Yeah. She's like a grandmother now. She's an old lady now. So that was a long time ago. She still was past her prime at that time. No offense to people past their prime.
Yeah.
No offense to somebody who thinks they might be past their prime. Like myself. We all get it. Yeah, it's listen, all governments, I mean, I can't speak for Vladimir Putin and his whole shebang, but Roger Waters is also being very apologetic for Vladimir Putin right now, very vocally. You know, he's blaming everybody else.
Because of NATO.
Yeah, I know, but you can't really say that because NATO was invented to protect us against Russia. So there's a reason why NATO exists, is because that could happen in Russia. So there's like you're saying, like what Finland and Sweden and Norway, they shouldn't be members. We're getting too close to him. We're getting too close to him because that guy's a fucking lunatic. I don't disagree with that. I think they just somebody needs to go. And this, like I said this before. It just shows that none of those super spies, none of that foreign intrigue exists because somebody would have taken that fucker out already. It just doesn't exist. There's nobody
unless it suits them.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nobody like on
that's darker. I know
in the West that is like speaks fluent Russian and is part of his cabinet, and they've been spying for years. Like we see in all the great movies, the espionage movies. Obviously, it doesn't exist because somebody would have taken him out by now. Because somebody's got to have enough of a reach to stick one in that guy's neck.
The car is saying he's already a follower of Anita. You should be. She might be on the channel soon, by the way, guys.
Oh,
that'll really divide my audience in half.
What is her? Is she Italian?
She's Italian, originally from Albania.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen her.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ethnic Albanian Italians.
Yeah, and you know she's pro Europe, unity in Europe, and help the refugees and asylum for people seeking it and so on. She's very, it's progressive leftist stuff in the face of fascism, which is still very much alive in this country. It really is. Fascism did not go away in this country. It did not. Well, it's still alive and well.
You had Mussolini and people loved him.
Oh, they still
Il Duce,
bravo. Incredibile. Yeah. I got into a discussion a couple of years ago, actually, on Facebook, Dream Come True, but about because they left all the monuments up here. You can see the Roman monuments, and you can see all sorts of stuff, and you can see all the Mussolinis, all the Mussolini stuff, the Colosseo Quadrato, and all the fascist architecture. They left it up, and we got into a discussion about whether that's right or not. And I was like, well, we were making the argument that should you pull it down? It's similar to the American argument. Should you pull down these statues of these men who had slaves years ago and all of that kind of stuff? Similar argument. A bit more recent, but...
I mean, do you leave up statues of Hitler?
Has anyone? I doubt it.
I don't remember there ever being a statue of Hitler. I don't think they ever made statues of him. Were there any statues? There's a lot of propaganda.
Great question.
I don't think I've ever seen a bust, a relief, a statue of Adolf Hitler. Ever. I don't think so. But I've seen tons of Lenin, tons of Stalin, tons of Mussolini, but I've never seen Hitler.
Well, you won't see Mussolini himself. You'll see the things he created.
Yeah, but there's that.
Yeah, is that? Yeah.
That's
it's all. Most of
stamp
it's in
you have.
Rome. Most of it's in Rome.
Yeah. There's that amazing. Who's the Garibaldi? The main. That's that statue in the middle of that park in Rome. That is one of the most magnificent statues I've ever seen in my life. On the horse, the Garibaldi on the horse. Wow, it's mind-blowing. It's so big. We went there on that trip, the last trip we met up with you. We stopped in Rome first and met Paul's cousins, who he had never met. And we met at the Garibaldi statue, and it was, I mean, the size of a fucking house. It was incredible. Beautiful park.
It's amazing there to see, Julius Caesar's home, and stuff like that. It's kind of it's hard to walk around that town because of all the tourism, but it is an amazing town to see the history.
It's amazing.
The history they have is quite fascinating. But every city is steeped in it. They were just doing some repairs on some sewage system here, and they were digging up some of the square. And they found underground caves, and now it's all fucking boarded off. Like, you can't go near it, you can't see in there because they're
in Venice.
Right under the Piazza San Marco. They're after discovering the underground shit, and they're like, "Oh,
that's
fuck.
religious." That
keeps happening. It keeps happening. They're just like, "Oh shit, there's more to be found. Oh my god, here we go again."
For a city that's built on stilts, you would think that that's rare, because that's obviously
super rare.
San Marco.
Not in Rome. Not in Rome. It's not rare because it happens every weekend.
Every week, and you go to Fano, which is built in the year 9. There's a plaque out on the wall that surrounds the city. It's a Roman city. It says 9. Every block, they can't do anything there. They dig shit up, and it's from, before Christ. It's freaking insane.
They got to board it off, and then everybody has to leave their homes and blah blah blah. It's like, it's a whole problem here because they. Oh, sorry, you got to leave your apartment building. Why? Because we just discovered this ancient, 2,000-year-old thing under your house.
And you saw in your Trieste video, the amphitheater, because that's right behind the hotel. It's like a block and a half behind the hotel.
Trieste have everything. They have Roman,
everything.
And then they have Austrian. Yeah, they have it. The entire Trieste have the
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, for those who don't remember his Trieste video, which you should watch it because it's a fabulous video. The hotel that we tend to stay at and frequent is, if you go behind it and one block over, there's an entire amphitheater that they discovered when they knocked down a building and wanted to build a new one. The entire foundation of this old building was built on top of a theater. And, now it's going to be an outdoor theater. They're going to leave the ruins, dust it off, and it's going to be an open air, place to go see, Rigoletto or something fabulous like that. That's what I love about Italy.
Redirecting things back towards the Irish centric thing, seeing as it's Paddy's Day. This is Newgrange. If you guys are not aware, there is a place called Newgrange in Ireland, in the Boyne Valley, overlooking the Boyne River, that is 6,000 years old. This is 6,000 years old. If you think Stonehenge is impressive, this is like unbelievable level. And what they did, you see this, let me tell you something, right? Guys, anybody watching, anybody who's interested, look at this monstrous thing. This thing goes back so long. It's built of 250,000 tons of rock. These are small rocks on the inside, but on the outside. The inside are all heavy rocks, all perfectly put together, like the pyramids. Okay. Now, this is what happens. See this? You walk in there. That's where you can walk in. But above it, there's this entrance. See this thing above the entrance? What's that for? Well, light shines down through the passageway all the way down to the center chamber. And once a year on the summer solstice in the morning, it lights up the center chamber It illuminates a place that's completely black, dark, complete smidge. You can't see your hand in front of your face for the entire year, but then it illuminates in gold in the center chamber. This was built nearly 6,000 years ago. Incredible stuff. If you're ever in Ireland and you want to see the most amazing stuff, now you can't see it on the winter solstice because it will only fit like 18 or 19 people. So there's a long list. I believe it's a 20-year long list. I remember putting down my name for it. Oh, fucking 30 years ago or something, to try and get on the list to go in and see the Dalai Lama. You know, of course, they invite in, of course. It's spiritual. But this is amazing. One of the most incredible things about Newgrange is that the water vapor that's inside there is created out of its condensation, not because any water got in. In a rainy country, maybe the rainiest country in the world, no rainwater has gotten in nearly 6,000 years. This place is life-changing.
Watertight, yeah.
It's incredible.
And what was its purpose?
Well, there's speculation about that, you know, whether it was for the dead, what it was for. Was it, you know, then of course there's plenty of people who say it was built by aliens, just, you know, same way as the Sphinx and so on. But this is the light coming through.
They're in China.
It's incredible. Newgrange, an amazing place to see in the world, and part of my my heritage, my culture,
That's County Meath, right?
Meath, yeah, Meath,
County
yeah,
Meath.
the Boyne Valley, yeah,
Boyne River, Boyne Castle.
There's a castle in Boyne. Yeah.
Oh yeah, been there many times. The Boyne.
Anyway, well, listen, we've been on for 3 hours.
3 hours.
Been a good one. Listen, anybody having a drink? Let's have one last. I'll have one last one with everybody. It's been a good Paddy's night. I had my Paddy's Day drinks earlier this evening in the center of Venice, where there's an Irish pub.
Is Corner Pub the Irish pub?
No. It's called Irish Pub. Then the Shark. The Shark is actually really popular for the Irish and great for soccer. Like, people go to see soccer there. A lot of Guinness is flowing.
How's the Guinness in have you had a Guinness there?
Yeah. I mean,
can't imagine it being that good, but you never know. I mean, it doesn't have to go across an ocean.
Right. It's not
which is really bad.
Yeah.
They make Guinness here now, which is
it's pasteurized.
Yeah.
The one in Dublin and Ireland is non-pasteurized. It's like milk.
Yeah. That's why the color is different too.
It doesn't last long, but it gets, you know, they drink it before it gets off.
No, that's
like cream
a day. Yeah. They go through a keg a day. Most bars, most pubs. As they should. A big tree for the GAA. Yeah, Shane McGuirk.
I don't follow Irish sports in any way. I don't follow the rugby or anything. Maybe I should.
I don't think if you're not a big sport guy, I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I never have been. La Carta, if it shows the light in that room only once a year, most likely it was used for agriculture to show the date. Maybe. There are a lot of different theories. There are many. I don't know how people 6,000 years ago were able to figure out exactly when that day was going to happen every year, but you know,
there was a lot of really smart people doing a lot of interesting calculations, like how did they build this and how did they measure that, and
right,
maybe they did come on a spaceship. Who knows? Maybe it was the space-time continuum. Who knows? We don't know anything.
You have to remember as well, the night sky back then must have been a glory before there were electric lights or anything, you know. Like, the night sky must have been unbelievable. You know, it's like going to the top of the Alps and looking at the glorious
Milky Way. Everyone saw it. You don't see it. Have you ever seen it? Have you ever really seen it? Have you ever been in a place?
No, I've seen it somewhat, and I've been like, okay, now I can see the formation of the Milky Way a
Mhm.
little bit.
I saw it
I
in
can't remember
Portugal, but
where it was.
not probably the same as you. I probably saw it with a 60% obscured view, because I
Yeah,
just watched a documentary and they said that 98% of the world now has so much light pollution that you can't see the night sky like they
yeah,
saw
you
it.
can't.
The Arctic Circle.
Unless you're out at sea. If you're out at sea, you can see it. If you're in a ship,
Yeah,
like in that smidgen black, where you can't see a goddamn thing in the middle of the
right.
night, then you can see the night sky if it's not overcast. Kleiner Hund, $20. Thank you so much. If I could ask a watch question, would you choose the classic Speedmaster or Speedmaster 57 manual wind?
That's
Is the
new.
57, yes, the new one. Is the 57 worth the extra expense?
It's a beautiful watch.
What would you think, though?
I'd get the manual one. I mean, the new one's beautiful though. It's coax, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's a choose your fancy, because they're both beautiful. I don't particularly like those new dials with the smoky reds and the. I like the older ones. I like the green one, and I like
Yeah, I'm
the.
not a big fan of the red, the new red that
I don't
people are
like it
going
at
mad
all.
about. The blue is
Yeah.
okay and the green is okay.
Yeah. I like the original 57s. I like the those automatic ones. They were beautiful. I mean, they're, you know what? It's almost like it's the alternative. Like if you're going to go for that watch that's automatic and a date and it's only got, two
Yeah.
sub dials, then go for that. But if you don't want that, get a Speedmaster.
The problem with the old is you're dealing with service history, delicacy. Is it
Sure.
all original parts? Where is it coming from? Does it have papers or not? Does it have an extraction, etc., etc.?
That's vintage. What if
Yeah.
he went and got a 3861 or 1861 or one of the most recent ones? What if he did that? I mean, vintage, like you have to do that because you have a very vintage watch.
But he's comparing the
classic.
57. He wants that look. He wants that old.
I thought he was talking about the actual model, the Speedmaster 57.
He might be. He might be right. Between the brand new one and the 57,
because now it's manual now. They have a manual.
I would say
version.
it's down to wrist size, because those 57s are beautiful, but they're under 40 millimeters. So if you have a large wrist,
Are they the new 57 ones?
yeah, the new 57s are just under 40 mil. That's one reason I can't go near one. They're gorgeous looking.
They are beautiful.
Yeah, they're not 42s.
I thought they were 41 millimeter watches.
No, I think they're just under 40.
They used to be 41. They used to be. So, but they did switch over with those new dials. They switched over. They definitely switched. They switched the movement. They might have switched the dial. They might have switched the size too. Why would they go down though? Weird.
Chase the old thing.
Asian market.
Maybe.
Small risk.
Shane McGurk, €6. Thanks.
Thank you, Shane. It's great to have
Dirk. Yeah, it is great to have Dirk back. My God, what a breath of fresh air. We'll have you on more often. We'll be doing eye bashers more often from now on, guys.
Yeah, we will.
Today for €20. Thanks so much. Garamila Machagut. I need to keep speaking the Irish tonight. Thanks for reading out my super chat. Just associating want to spend a penny.
You went to take a leak.
You went to spend a penny. New Speedy. Am I totally elephants drunk? Elephants, that's a classic Dublin thing to say. It's like elephants is like really, really drunk. So against my better judgment, I'm buying you both one last cold one. Thank you so much, man.
That's hotel prices too. Thank you. 10 euro a beer.
You're the man. You're the man.
That's where we're staying, right? At the Shelburne.
I need to get back to that Shelburne hotel in Dublin, man. It's my favorite hotel.
My friend's going to her daughter's studying there. Apparently there's a thing going around in Dublin right now. And I don't know. I actually want to ask your sister about it. See what she's got to say.
Oh God.
There's like some hooligans apparently some very racist Irish hooligans, and they were like 12 years old. And it's not one group, it's like many gangs and packs of them that go around throwing stones at tourists and immigrants and cursing them out. And I didn't believe her.
Tourists and immigrants?
Yeah, and they say racist shit to people and stuff like that. Because my friend Mimi's daughter is going to school there. And then I asked Shay about it. She said, "Oh yeah. It's like a thing now. You got like this is like some Ballymun activity, but that doesn't exist anymore. The town does, but not the housing council flats. But apparently, there's like little gangs of bratty kids now going around just being hooligans in Dublin." And I don't know anything about it, so I wanted to ask somebody who currently lives in that town, like, what's going on there? What's going on with these little hooligans creating havoc all over the place? Apparently, like they were going to a pub. You know, she's studying it. She's doing like a term at Trinity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And these kids were throwing stones at them, calling them all kinds of crazy names because I guess she's got some, not Irishy looking friends.
I always find it funny when Irish people are racist. It's the stupidest thing. Like, how on earth do you get to be racist, you idiot? Like, we're the one nation that we can't do that. We have nothing.
Ignorance.
You have nothing to stand on. You have nothing. Like, what? We're the immigrants of the world. We're the refugees of the world. We spread ourselves around the world.
The Irish diaspora, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, the diaspora around the world is much bigger than the country itself. Way bigger.
Those kids don't know about any of that stuff. They're just like, he's not us. Right, here's a stone. I said what I would do is I would go to the petrol station. First, I'd go to Boots, and I'd go get a spray bottle. Go ask for an empty spray bottle. I'd go to the petrol shop. I'd fill it up with gasoline, and the next time one of those fuckers come near you, spray them, and then take out a lighter and say, "Back the fuck off," because I'm about to set you on fire.
Fire, you asshole! How?
Yeah, she says that every time they go out, they're attacking her. They attack them. She's there with a bunch of girls, and they're boys. They're like groups of 12-year-old boys, and they have little scooters, and they're just being hooligans. I was like, I've never heard of such a thing. I mean, I have no knowledge of it. And she said it's a big thing over there. I was like, well, and they were warned at the school, be careful, don't go to this corner, don't go to that corner. I was like, oh boy, really? What's going on?
They need to see even what was it, Gangs of New York with Daniel Day-Lewis, how the Irish were treated when we arrived on the shores of New York and Boston. That's how we were treated.
Yeah, they're ignorant. That's all it is.
That's all it is. It's the birthplace of ignorance. That's it.
That's all it ever is for anyone at any time.
But I have to say, the Irish in general,
no,
I gotta stand up for my folks right now. No. Like in general, there are certain assholes, certain shitheads, certain ignoramuses like that. That'll always be there. But the Irish in general, for the most part, 60, 70, 80% of us we're pro-refugee, we're pro-help the others, the impoverished, the needy, and so on. That's the way we've always been. Because we were that. Jesus Christ, we were that for 800, 900 years, cast out from our own country. We know what it's like to be desperate for food and for shelter, and that's why we went all around the world. That's why we are a diaspora around the world. Crazy. All right, I'm getting drunk now, and it's getting late. Kleiner Hunt, $5. Yeah. All right, we'll wrap it up. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to us ramble here. I hope there was some interesting information. There you go. Speedy 57 is 40.4 millimeter.
Okay.
The trilogy is 38.6. Thank you.
Oh yeah, well we know that.
But the 40.4, that's almost 2 millimeters smaller than my. And I have to say, my 57 isn't exactly massive on me.
What 57 do you have?
I have that. We looked at it.
I mean, you're talking about the CK2915 reiteration, right?
The one I
But
looked at
Speedy
earlier.
57 is an actual model number from.
It's a new one.
That's why I'm getting confused. Speedy 57 is
the
an
one
actual
that
model
George Clooney is modeling.
Yeah. That's
It's
the
that one.
reiteration of it.
So
The new one is
this is the one from
that's the 3861 iteration.
This is 42 mils.
42 mil.
I know I'm a big bastard and all that shit, but like
that's perfect. Look at it. It's good. Perfect.
So if that was 40 mils, that would be a step in the wrong direction, I would have to say. Don't you think?
Yeah, the fifth, he's talking about the one with the 2 subdials and the broad arrow hands and the dated 6.
Right.
You know, the one with the ugly red dial that we don't like because it's ugly. It's really ugly. It's matte and it's ugly. You know, at least doesn't have any kind of glitter to it. They're just kind of flat and blah looking. Not the prettiest one.
Nice. The blue is nice.
Blue is okay. Yeah, blue's okay. Yeah. You know, they should those new the Omegas that they did with the Sunburst styles, those came and went like in the flash of an eye. They're gone already.
The Sunburst. Which ones?
Those came and went.
Which ones?
Remember they did the flavored ones? I don't even know what model they were. You know, they were like competing with the Oyster Perpetual. Omega came out with yellow and pink and coral and blue and purple.
That was last year. Yeah.
What model was that?
They're still only being released.
Oh.
They've staggered out those releases. People were putting their names down. They're only getting them now.
Oh, but what model was that? What watch was that?
There was a 37 and a 40 and a 41. Yeah. And everybody was like, "Are you kidding me? That's like the OPs." But
they weren't Aquaterras. What were they?
They were Aquaterras.
Oh, they were Aquaterras. Oh, okay. All right. Now I get it. Yeah, that didn't but they were pretty dials though. The color they were like.
Oh, they were gorgeous.
Yeah, they were pretty. I mean, you could probably. So you can't get those. Those are hard to get.
They're still staggering them out on the market. Yeah.
Paul's dad showed me a picture of the green Seamaster, and he goes, "Hey, what do you think of this?" I said, "What do you think of that?"
I would
love it.
It's great.
I said, "You can't have that." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "No." I said, "You can't have that. That's one of the waitlist Omegas. You can't have that."
You know what? You'd be surprised.
What do you mean I can't have it?
But one of the guys on Tim Wright's stream, Buckley, he just bought one on a rubber strap. He just got one in New York.
I have a young guy who's Albanian, and he comes into the bar on Sundays by himself. He's 25. He bought a Hulk in New Jersey at his jewelry store at retail like 3 years ago.
Well, 3 years ago.
Yeah, but holy
still hard, very hard, but yeah.
Retail. He goes, "Oh, I like that." They're like, "It's a hot watch." He goes, "I'll take it."
Well, good for him. And I know a guy who won the lottery.
I'm just saying, but wow.
I know a guy who wrote a hit song. It's the same shit. I got a message from a guy today saying, "Hey, I walked in looking for an OP and they offered me a date just in blue and I bought it. They had it. Am I just lucky?" I was like, "No, because date justs are, last year they were a little harder than it, everything was harder this time last year, but that was a frenzy. Before that, a date just wasn't that hard to get. Had you asked," he was like, "I know this goes against your whole ethos of like things are hard to get." I was like, "Well, not really. Had you asked for a GMT or Daytona, you'd be giving me your tale of woe right now."
Sure. Well,
which I get 10,000 times a day from people going, "Oh my God."
That's trickle down, isn't it? Though, like you can't get the sub, you can't get the Hulk, you can't get the Daytona. The next thing you know, you can't get the OP and
the sub, the GMT in any iteration, and the Daytona remain the three.
Sure.
Forget it.
But apparently now it's hard to get everything from them. You can't even walk in a Rolex store and get anything. You can't even get a Cellini now. It just trickled down to everything that they make because it says Rolex on it.
By the way, I was in my AP AD recently, getting this black strap, a replacement black strap for my AP.
Why'd
And
you
they're
have to replace
closed.
it?
Well, I didn't have to, but it was all shiny, which is what happens to rubber after a certain amount of time. It looks cheap. So this is all matte.
Mm-hmm.
It's all matte and new and beautiful. I have my white one for the summer, but I can't wear that now. And they're closing. They're closing here in Venice. My AP AD is closing. It breaks my heart. And I said, why? And they said, because we don't have the pieces. We can't sell anything. Everything's gone the minute. Like, we have such a long list. We have no pieces. People come in. We have nothing to sell them. There's no point in being here anymore. So they're remaining in Milan and Florence and Rome.
Isn't that in Piazza San Marco?
It's in Piazza. Yeah, it's right in Piazza San Marco. Right around the corner from Rolex.
Yeah, right around the corner from us. Oh, wow. Wow.
June.
AP can't kick it up. They can't kick it up a notch, AP.
They did. They went from they were doing 40,000 pieces a year. Now, let's put this into perspective. Rolex do
a million,
close to $1 million a year. The speculation, it's Chinese whisper. People, it started at 700,000, then it became 800,000, then it became $1 million. Like, who knows? Nobody really knows, but it's huge numbers. Really, when you divide down the catalog, it isn't that big because the catalog is so large. But anyway, these guys are only making 40,000 pieces a year. Now they're upping it to 55 to 60,000 pieces a year. Richard Mille are only making 4,000 to 5,000 pieces a year. That's nothing.
Well, they ugly.
They ugly. I don't wear them because they ugly. There's the signal. She always arrives when it's time to stop. It's like she knows when I'm getting drunk. She's like, stop wishing.
He's drunk. I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too. I didn't even have dinner. I better
go have dinner.
All right, brother. Listen,
it's
fucking amazing.
Really
that was great. Thank you all for hanging on. Anybody is 300 still in the room. Thank you so much, guys. And listen, have a great weekend. Happy Paddy's Day.
Happy Paddy's Day.
It's great to see all the familiar faces in here. Wonderful.
Cheers, everybody. Great to see you all.
Gardiv Mila Mahagut, Slán Gasol, and Ihawa. As they would say. Good night. And Gesundheit. All right. Have a good night, guys. By the way, everybody's going over to Tim's now. Tim's channel, they're going to keep going all night with the watch talk. It's brilliant. It's the best ever. There'll be like 10 seconds of silence or 5 seconds. I can't remember. After I shut this down, just leave it rolling and go over to Tim. If you hate it, just click it off. If you like it, keep watching. I might show up later there, like stupidly drunk. I don't know.
After he eats.
After I have food. You're all heading over to Tim Wright's, the best watch chat channel out there. All right. Thanks, Dirk.
Thank you. Live long and prosper.
I have to do that. It's like that. You will always be my eternal friend. Is that what he says when he's dying in the chamber?
In the chamber, he puts it up there.
Always be my eternal friend.
I could do it better with my right hand than my left hand. I don't know what that is. And I'm left-handed.
That's weird. You're ambidextrous.
Sort of, but I can bowl that way. Can't do a lot with my right hand. None of the important things.